Hello? Okay, guess we're live now. Hey everybody, or to anybody that's listening later in the future. Today, we're just gonna do a chill kind of art stream. Which is really all I had planned for today. I know that last stream I said I would be playing a different game that I don't even remember what I said I was gonna play, but decided to switch focus and start doing a little bit of art today. Mostly focusing on actually making a ref sheet for Kuneho here, because I don't actually have one. All I have is the model that you could see in this preview source here. Let me zoom out. This is all I have for drawing future pictures of Kuneho, so I thought that for today we'd make a proper ref sheet to go ahead and get that out of the way. Since I figured it's also going to be a kind of slow stream, so besides just the drawing and me focusing on that, I thought, and y'all aren't going to be able to see this because this is window capture mode, but I've also got a list of 100 OC questions that I thought that maybe we could try answering while I'm drawing this, so it's a little bit of a character development stream too. It's just something to talk about to fill the dead air, you know? So, start with... Is there a way for me to keep this up while I can still draw? That way I can... whatchamacallit? Multitask a little bit. Probably should have thought of that first. That should be enough space, I guess. Not that y'all can see it. Oh wait, now that I think about it, that's gonna change how that appears here, isn't it? Yeah, I should have thought about that. Well, I'll just go back and forth. I don't mind the process being that disruptive. Alrighty then. First question. How I draw this? How do they present themselves to others? So, if you're talking about Kuneho, the character here, I guess she presents herself as trying to be kind of a cheerful type, you know? Because the point of her existence, in context, is to, just kind of be a... I guess it's harder than I thought, focusing on drawing and talking. Is to be sort of a... gateway is not the right word, but that's what we're gonna use. Like a gateway into the, world you're kind of joining when you, play your game there, so... It tries to be inviting, welcoming, fun, you know. That's what she would try to be, if she had any sort of program personality. But I think that's the kind of person she is. If you're talking about me personally, I guess much of the same. I think I'm a little more lackadaisical about it, because it's hard to get her hair swooshes right. Probably should have added more. Just for the sketch, it was a little less detailed than what we have on the original model, but I'm gonna try to cross-reference both the sketch and what I've already got. Because we're not trying to reinvent the character right now. We're just trying to get something that I consistently look at, which has all the details and things, etc. It's a reference sheet. Something that's a better reference than the model itself, which is sort of in a weird pose, I suppose you call it. Did I ever finish answering that question about myself? I guess you know how I present myself if you've been watching these streams. I don't know how to explain it more than that. Let's see. Well, second question. Do they like animals? In the broadest sense, I suppose so. She is technically based on a bunny, but I don't know if animals exist in her world, so she doesn't really have an opinion of them to begin with. I mean, animals must exist for her to be based on an animal, but you know what I'm saying. I feel like she'd be indifferent to it. Aside from, players, I suppose. Kuneho is indifferent to most other living things, because they are not programmed as a priority. Can't really entertain an animal with video games. Not to the way they're meant to be played anyways. Now, question 3. How do they dress? I don't know if this is technically the correct or if this is really indicative of the era, but just Kuneho's clothing and the entire style around her is supposed to be very Y2K. The thing is, though, when I was researching that, Y2K is very utility-based, at least most of the fashions, because it's all about, you know, sticking it to the man is a very broad explanation of the ideology, but kind of like that. But there's a lot of focus on, like, actually function over fashion in some, in most Y2K clothing. So, her showing so much stomach and wearing a crop top, maybe not the most practical thing in the world. It's an idealized version of the fashion, I suppose. And she doesn't really have any alternate outfits, so yeah. And as an arcade machine, I don't wear any clothes, so naked, I guess. Or as naked as a box can be, I suppose. Alrighty. Since this is just for a reference sheet, I guess I don't really have to worry about how everything's gonna layer, because this isn't gonna be cut up for animation like the main model is. I don't think I've ever shown that file on stream, but it's cut up to be able to do that sort of head bopping and speaking that she's doing right now, so something to consider for when you make these sort of things. Not that I think anyone's really going to be using me as a serious guide, as amateur as it is. If you're watching this for advice, I guess, do think about, I guess, where your art is being used, because that's going to inform a lot of how you actually construct it, you know? Like, the design philosophy for Kuneho, since she's based on very simplistic characters for easier animation, very inspired by the Rhythm Heaven series, the Puyo Puyo series, a little bit of Space Channel 5, I guess, and the Pigtails, but in terms of the character design, like why things are shaped the way they are, where things are exaggerated, etc., the boldness of the lines, that's mostly based on the two games I mentioned before, and pop-in music with the single color outline that we have. Very inspired by that. And she's designed very simply with very solid coloring, I guess. Not even cell shading, because she doesn't really have any shading anywhere. Just the highlights in her hair, maybe a little bit of darker color where the hair's kinda in shadow, but otherwise very flatly colored. And that's so she can animate very cleanly with the 1 or 2 frames that she has, you know? Because I don't know if I've mentioned this on stream before, but despite becoming a VTuber because I like the idea of it, I actually watch very, very few of them because the effect that most of them have is very uncanny to me. It's not so bad that I call it disturbing, but I don't think that the popular style of VTubers, which is mostly whatchamacallit, anime based, actually lends itself that well to the animation styles which VTubing uses, which is mostly live 2D, which is puppet based, or 3D, which is 3D. And I guess I'll talk about my philosophy on that. Eyebrows getting too thick. Do I have thick brows? Or rather, what I'm basing this on, I'm not sure. If the brows should be thicker, maybe. Maybe that'd be a more appealing look. Like, I guess we can make little tweaks to the design while we're here, because one of the things I also wanted to do was try making a model in HONK. That's another, I guess, ping tuber program, but my thoughts are jumping all over the place. You've been over this. I tend to wander a lot. Let me try to go back to the original thought, which was, I guess, style. and VTubing. Yeah, so despite becoming a VTuber because I thought it'd be interesting and I liked the idea, I don't watch that many because okay, said all that already. But the reason that unnerves me is because the anime style as it is isn't really developed for that kind of movement. Let me try to explain what I'm saying. Because in my opinion, anime style characters are designed for really one of two purposes. One is to look good standing still, and the other is to look good in hand-drawn motion. So, 2D animation. And technically, live TD is 2D animation, but it's not frame by frame. It's what you call, I guess, tweening. I may be using those terms incorrectly. I'm not an animator by trade, but I am a little bit passionate about it. But I may mix up terms and misrepresent some of the ideas I'm trying to talk about. But what I'm getting at is that live 2D and its puppetry model with all its tweening, it doesn't look natural for like anime style characters because they're not supposed to be moving that fluidly. They're just not designed for it. Unless you have like a very high fidelity model. Fidelity might not be the right word, but you know, a very, very well-rigged model. It just looks kind of off, you know? Let's see, they do be looking like FNAF MFDs from 2014. I mean, yeah, but that's kind of the case with any sort of cartoon style in 3D, because it's not, unless you design them for that space, it just looks kind of weird. Like, it's like why almost nobody likes 3D anime, or the ones that are considered good, like Land of the Lustrous. I think most folks have good things to say about Beastars. I don't have Netflix, so I haven't watched it, but or like I think a lot of the new Guilty Gear games have a very anime style, but they use 3D models. But the things people like about it is either, in the case of Guilty Gear and other games by that company, I don't remember the name of it, I'm not into fighting games, I just know about it, is that it looks like 2D animation. So I guess it's using the benefits of 3D for the workflow, but the style itself is still taking from from 2D principles, you know? So 3D anime, for the most part, the general consensus is it only looks good when it's replicating 2D animation, because they're not made for the 3D space. Let's see, JoJo's 3D animation is bussin' though. I haven't seen JoJo either, but from the many clips that I've seen of it, I would agree with that. I agree with that. They look pretty darn good, those JoJo models. But I don't really recall what they look like in motion, but as far as I can tell, they also, you know, really replicate the 2D style, which just reinforces what I was saying earlier. That it's, these character designs, anime character designs in 3D, look best when they're emulating 2D. Which is why I'm just really not into it, you know? Which is why, despite looking cheaper, you know, the point I was trying to get to this at the end, the reason why Kuneho is a ping tuber, or GIF tuber, technically speaking, is because I think that just looks more natural. Like, it's more limited, but I think that it looks better than if she were to move with puppetry, to be moving so fluidly, you know? Like, animation tools and things have come very far, but techniques really don't change. It's just the workflow, you know? The techniques established by the 9 old men? It's either 9 or 12, but the Disney animators way back in the day when they established the I believe 12 principles of animation, those still hold up today, you know? And to make good, appealing animation, or characters that move, or appealing animated characters, it's good to follow those principles. And unfortunately, puppetry, for the most part, just doesn't always achieve it that well. And it looks weird. It doesn't look like it should be animated like that. Let's see. Best 3D scene I've seen in a cartoon was the whole "You're going to hell, little boy" scene from SPBLAU. What's that? I don't recognize that acronym. Could you post that in the chat for me, please? Then I can look it up later. Maybe we can look at stuff like that while we're in chat. It was made in 1999 and looks way better than the VTubers. Let's see. Maybe let me write that down in my notepad so I have it for later, in case, don't get back to me. Also, I don't remember if I recognize your name at all. Thank you for joining me today. Let's see. SPBLAU. I'll write that down for a bit. Oops, sorry about that. If this is your first time, John. Bigger, longer, and uncut. Oh, South Park, that's what that is. Yes. I think I have that on VHS somewhere. I remember seeing it somewhere. Well, I'm getting out of character talking about real life things, but all of my streams up to now have been a little bit OOC as I try to get into this, man. So I do hope you'll forgive me for my mistakes as we figure this out along the way. Anyways, I'll look into that later. If it's South Park, then if I play that on stream, I'm definitely gonna get in trouble. Not really for content, but copyright stuff. But I'll look into that later. And see if maybe we can talk about that next time. Lesson 3D animation, though. To be honest, I don't think I've ever really watched South Park. I know I have friends that like it, but I don't know. I just didn't watch a lot of adult cartoons as a kid. And I don't watch them now because I don't have TV. Heyo. Oh, what's up? What's up, Bruce? Thanks for joining us today. Just doing a little bit of drawing, working on Kuneho's ref sheet so I can reference this when I draw her. Speaking of which, why am I still in this view? I need to be looking at what I'm doing here. We were just talking about my philosophies about VTubers, the style, animation, all that good stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe it's a little pretentious of me to say all that when I'm not, when I'm not an animator. Like, I like cartoons, I like drawing, but I'm not a professional. Animation, I freaking hate doing because it's just so time consuming. I don't have the patience to be an animator. But nonetheless, I appreciate it as an art form. And the things people are doing with it, at least in the VTubing scene, I think could be better. But it's a lot to ask for, frame-by-frame animation with that stuff, Let's see. They have a website with all their episodes. The show really helped with my mental health as I was not accepting of myself until I saw Craig X Tweak. I'm gonna guess those are, upload the characters in there. I don't know anything about the show. I'm being honest with you right now. But I'm glad that you have something in your life that can be that for you. Like, formative pieces of media are, so important. That's why I think that folks should be working hard to, expand the medium and, the topics it can cover and all that good business. But I'm starting to ramble now. I'm losing my, whatchamacallit, my train of thought, as I often do, and I hope that folks will just get used to. But nonetheless, I will apologize for it each and every time, so I feel bad about it. And again, I don't know if that's like a mental thing on my part or if I'm just easily distracted, which I guess is both the same thing, technically. What you gonna do? But, yeah. Because I'm trying to think. To make me happy, just personally, what would a VTuber need to do? Because it's a lot to ask for, frame-by-frame animation live. You can't really do that unless you have, like, pre-made animations. But after a while, those start looking unnatural, too. Like, even though I like the kind of bobbing thing that Kuneho's got going on there, I'm very upset that she doesn't transition that well between speaking and idling, mostly because of the limitations of the program. If I could set it to like delay, when the transition happens, then it might look a little more natural, but I don't know. All pipe dream stuffs. If I was really smart, or smart enough to do it, I could just program it on my own, but I'm not, so I'm not gonna, whatchamacallit, bite the hand that's feeding me, you know. This program is free, though. I did donate for this program since I'm using it a lot, VideoTube. Though, we're gonna experiment in HONK later if we have some time. That one you have to pay for to use. Let's see. Oh, right. While you're doing the ref sheet, does Kuneho has a design on the back of her top? Well, you know, that's part of the reason we're doing the ref sheet, so we can figure that out. I'm thinking maybe it says Kuneho on the back, or just has another heart insignia, but we'll get there when we get there, I guess. I don't think about the backs of my characters enough. Like I prefaced earlier, I'm not a professional. Do not use me as advice for drawing, children. Let's see. We stand a grandma that wants you to marry a guy because you have to have kids for me. Also, we stand the boys in my classes that see me as something for their pleasure, asking to kiss in front of them. What the heck is that all about, man? That doesn't sound like stuff you should be standing at all, if you're being serious. You want my non-professional advice. I don't think... Like, family's such a hard thing for me to talk about. I guess we're going real OOC for this stream. That's fine. I was trying to keep it up in the beginning, but that's just gone down the drain. But, family stuff. I don't know. I believe that, nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, asked to be brought into this world. So generally speaking, I don't think you owe anybody anything if they're not good to you, you know? Even if they're family. Like, if they are good to you, like, don't completely disregard your parents if they're doing their best to, like, raise you and guide you right. But in cases where they aren't, and it's clear that they aren't, then, no. I don't believe in backing them up just because of that, you know? And, you know, objectification of people in general is bad. Like, family or, you know, peers. It's just not good, man. I don't see what's so hard about just living and let live. But it's a complicated world we're living in. Complicated and full of just people who can't mind their own business, you know? Let's see. Nah, I'm joking. It's horrible. I can't handle the fact she can't accept that I'm gay. No, I'm sorry, man. I wish I could do more for you than offer my condolences, but if it helps any, I'm sure you're gonna make it out of here just fine. Stay positive. And just keep being true to you. This world is changing a lot. In some ways for the worse, but in lots of ways for the better. And I think that, whatchamacallit, like, being gay and being able to express that is slowly becoming a little bit better. So I do hope that things work out for you, man. Like, even if she never quite quote-unquote accepts it, if you can accept that about yourself and live happily, man, then I think you're gonna be doing all right. Like I said, nobody asked to be brought into this world, and you don't owe nobody nothing. Like, try to be a good person, repay kindness where you can, but you don't owe it to anybody, you know? Still have the tall vampire lady. Tall vampire lady. We talking about Resident Evil? Man, I don't know no pop culture, nothing. I'm sorry. I am into obscure video games and middling anime. I don't know about anything that's popular, man. But I do know of Lady D. And yeah. I like her. I like her too. I like the aura she has. Yeah, that one. In this chat room, or this stream, whatever you want to call what I'm doing here, we do stand tall, big ladies that can beat the shit out of you. We indeed stand that. I don't know if I'll ever draw any, just because I'm bad at drawing muscles, but in my heart, I love them dearly. What's this line here for? The outfit doesn't have a line there. And, I just noticed that even in my, sketches, I keep forgetting. Oh dear, what happened? You got timed out. I don't know how strictly I have the, filter set for, stream elements. I didn't do that manually. But, do be careful saying anything, whatchamacallit. I don't want to say nasty, because if it was something sexual. Sexuality is very, in general, is healthy and good to be discussing, but I don't remember how strictly I have that set, so do be careful saying anything lewd. Those are the words I'm looking for. Lewdness. Well, I guess I'll have to look into that later, because if I'm gonna be saying stuff like that, then I guess y'all need to be able to talk about it too. But sorry that you were timed out, nonetheless. Lost my train of thought again. Is there a way for me to say this? You delete a minute. What? Oh, here it is. She makes my heart flutter. Why were you timed out for saying that? Oh, is it because of the all caps? Do be careful about all caps. That's probably what it is. Sorry about that, my guy. So sorry about that. I may have to work on making that a little less aggressive with timing people out. Because I do have an auto mod. That's what the stream elements thing is. Because, well, I don't have anybody to mod for me, so that's my compromise. But yes, while I've got nothing else to talk about since I forgot what I was saying, let's do another one of the OC questions. We did number 3, so 4. How many languages do they know? Technically 0, I guess, because they weren't programmed with anything. They're literally just a shell. So they can't even speak on their own, unless I'm, like, possessing them as I am now, so I guess for me, just, English. Despite the name being in Tagalog, I don't actually know that much. I'm not fluent at all. When I was younger, my mom tried to teach it to me, but she just never did it for that long, and I never actually picked it up. I can ask her about that stuff, whatchamacallit, if I want to know how something is said, but I don't actually know it. You know? Let's see. Next question. They? They who? Hey, what? Would they know whatever code they were programmed in? Technically not. They have, or they, she, Kuneho uses anything. It's fine. Both of us use either or. What am I trying to get at? They are literally just a shell. Like, in concept, well, in concept, no, they wouldn't, because they would just be a character. They would just be, you know, like the Mario of their game. As they are now, since the game was incomplete, they have nothing. Like, maybe there's some code lying dormant in there that would have an opinion about any of this, but as she is, no, they don't have that kind of self-awareness. They just don't. Let's see. What was the next question? How big is their family? Darn it, I keep doing that. How big is their family? Again, technically, well, it depends on what you want to consider their family. If you want to, let me see. Also, you said even in your sketches you forget about and switch topics. Yeah, I keep forgetting these little things on her frickin' shoes. And if I'm gonna keep forgetting them, maybe I should just leave them off. But the thing is, I wanted to keep reincorporating that element so it keeps showing up places, because otherwise, whatchamacallit, that hot pink color is really only used on her, on the headphones, the ones around her ears, and on the tips of the, antenna, and her eyes. I wanted to put that in other places. I think in some drafts they were even on her, gloves, but I don't know. You like the voice? Let's see, the timeout corner wasn't fun. I'm sorry, man. I really didn't know. Or I didn't realize it was that aggressive. I'll have to change that later. But yes, let's be careful about all caps, because I think that's what it was. But welcome back. Welcome back from timeout jail. Let's see. I lost my train of thought again, though. Were we talking about her orbs? I think we were talking about her orbs. Wouldn't recommend. Nah, I don't think it'd be fun either, man. I'm sorry. All I can do is say I'm sorry. Oh no, should I? Well, if I'm going to edit that later, for the bot to be less aggressive, then I guess I don't need to put a warning, but maybe I should warn people about saying all caps, if that's gonna happen. But like I said, I'll look into it later. Legs aren't looking right. They're not the same thickness. No, they're not. Okay. Ratio. Use some of that. Okay. Lost my thoughts again. I guess I'll go answer another question. That's why we have this here, why I thought to do this. So if I ever just start going weird, well, I have something to go back. Oh, we were answering the family question. Oh, darn it, why do I keep doing that? Family question. It depends on what you consider a family. Because, well, nah. I was gonna say that maybe she's like a mass-produced robot, but I don't think so, no. She's one of a kind, unless you want to count the mass production of me. I don't know, should I even bother staying in character for this stream? I've already broken so many times. But if you want to consider Kuneho Kahon and its many copies, or theoretical copies, as them being different robots in the game, then I guess she has as many as there are cabinets. As far as I know, there's only the one. If you want to consider the other plan's characters for this game, then she has at least 2. Although we chose the pink one, or Kuneho, as the avatar that we're using today, in theory there are actually 3 characters that exist in this game, 1 for each symbol. There's the Kuneho, who represents the hearts button, and there was a character for the star and the moon. I wasn't able to dig up any data on them, but I know that dummy information exists for them, so at least 2 other characters were supposed to be playable in this game. But Kuneho's the only one that was easily accessible, so this is the one we have. Let's see. Would have been busted. Okay, I missed a bunch of comments. Chatbot can do a go to a weird pizza place's window and commit Charlie. What? You can bussin'. Let's see. I mean, how many Kunehos did you go through on Death Road to Canada? Joke. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I guess you're referring to the other characters. But, I think I died like 3 or 4 times, so if you want to count them, I guess, 4 Kunehos and then just the leftover characters here, so big-ish family, I suppose. Or if you want to consider me like their mom or just container, then I guess me too. If you want to consider a box family, sure. Let's see, 6. What is their purpose in the story? Besides being my avatar, in the game, the story mode wasn't completely developed. But from what we can tell, it's probably, whatchamacallit, very, standard beat the bad guy sort of plot. Don't really know if there are any major twists in it, but she's just, frankly, she's just generic protagonist material. Nothing more than that, and she wasn't really meant to be. As far as I know, originally, it was supposed to be just like a rhythm game, which already don't need much story to get by, so it doesn't really have too much. Although, it seems that every time I do go to check on that stuff, the content changes a bit. So I thought we were supposed to be a rhythm game, but It could have been a racing game, a fighter. Lots of things in here. Lots of unused data. Let's see. Nah, the bot should really commit Henry's daughter. It's been so long since that happened. I think the killer is in an old, crusty bunny boy now. What? Ah, dear. I don't know if you're just making stuff up, if there are references I'm just not getting again. I'm sorry, man. I told you, I don't know nothing. Let me see. Like, I get what you're saying about the bot being like that. And I might have said it to be a little more aggressive because, again, I'm on my own. And originally, the chat was going to be on screen. So if anything bad just did get through, then it was going to be a lot of trouble for me, you know? Especially being as small as I am. Because if you break the rules when you aren't pulling in money, they're probably going to punish you pretty hard, you know? So I didn't want to take chances while I was still, you know, starting this out. I'm just getting my VTubing career started. I don't want it to die so quickly, you know? Hands are looking real messed up. He do be the man behind the slaughter. Let's see. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say this might be a FNAF reference, but I really don't know. I never got too into the lore of that game. I really like the ideas behind it. As cliche as it is, I can't deny being really attracted to properties or things that just seek out to corrupt childlike things. Not because I don't like children, which is, I guess, a weird conclusion to jump to in the first place, but I don't know. I just like the juxtaposition of something cute and innocent being corrupted, you know? It's just neat, as overplayed as it is. Dang it, you got timed out again. What are you doing? It might be. Why were you timed out? You didn't even use all caps. I've got no idea. Okay. After this stream, we're definitely gonna sit down and lower the, whatchamacallit, the aggressiveness of the bot. This is too much. I don't even know why it stalked you this time. Is it the emoji? It can't be the emoji, can it? Oh, dear Lord. Well, that's why we're doing these sort of out of characters, so we can, you know, deal with this stuff. We're still learning here, folks. We're still getting used to this. Okay. Oh, dear lordy. Well, guess I'll answer another one of the OC questions then. Let's see. Do they know how to fight? I guess that'll tie into what I was saying earlier about there being some data to suggest that this could have been a fighting game. So I've got no idea, really, what kind of game I was supposed to be. I'm only guessing rhythm game because there were some elements for it, but every time I go back to check, the elements have changed. So it's hard to say, really. But can she fight? In theory, I guess. I know there was, there's something about her feet and shoes actually being able to blast out sound waves, which I think is, probably implies some sort of fighting ability. But otherwise, probably just normal, you know? Whatever a normal person can do. Despite being a robot. She doesn't really use it that much. Let's see, turn that off. Or whatever benefits or she gets out of being a robot, like implied super strength, she really doesn't have. Let's see, I think we have this behind. Is there a way for me to cancel the timeouts? No. Ah, dear. I feel so bad about that, though. Okay, so I guess be careful for all caps and maybe be careful for emojis? I'm not sure this time. Okay, next question. Let's see, what is their backstory? I guess I've explained that mostly already. Kuneho as she is right. Where's my cursor? Oh, I got the eraser on. Kuneho as she is now, never got to be the character she was supposed to be, which is just a character inside of a game here. But the game wasn't completed. She wasn't completed, except for some of her sprites, which is what I've hijacked today to give you a visual representation of myself to look at. But me and her are not one and the same. She is a skin that I am borrowing while I try to complete myself here, because despite being incomplete, I would someday like to be like a real game, which is why I'm working on all this stuff. So, fix this here. So I think the hair appears in front of the headphones here. As much as that doesn't make sense, I just think it looks better than having headphones in front. Try to smooth some of this out a little bit. There we go. What was I saying? Yes, that's right. My reason for being here, for even streaming this, is, one, I'd like to be a complete game, but, before that, or after that, I also need someone to play me. So, I'm streaming the process of me exploring other video games to see, you know, what kind of games are out there, what I could possibly become. It's good to take inspiration from lots of places, so not just arcade games. In fact, I don't think we've played an arcade game on stream at all yet. And honestly, I don't know if we ever will. But it's good to take from other, sources for inspiration, because that's how you come up with new ideas, you know? If you stick to the same stuff that's already been done in that genre, then you're just gonna make the same stuff. Susbot, the bot is so sus. I'm so sorry, man. It keeps happening. I promise you, I'm not doing anything on my end. That is 100% the bot doing that. And I really need to tone down its aggressiveness. It's the first time anyone in chat that's happened to before, though. No one else. And I'm really not sure what's triggering it. I'm just making guesses, but I'll look at it later. When I can, because I just think it'd be boring to watch that on stream. And also possibly compromising, because it's all my personal stuff on stream. It's not as bad as art school. Dear, dear. I'm not sure what the comparison is, but I'm guessing art school wasn't too good for you, or we're just saying that in general. I don't know, never went to art school. I thought about it. I was getting higher education for a little bit to break character again, but mine couldn't handle it, man. I was not in a position where I knew that I had mental health issues, because I do, and one of them's been diagnosed as a result of the stuff that happened with my higher education, but still haven't really resolved any of that. But that's getting a little personal. I don't know if I'm really well equipped to talk about things like that. I mean, we all deal with it, and I think we should be able to have frank discussions about our health issues and things like that. I just don't think I'm the person or place to discuss it in a good way, you know? Let's see. I got kicked out of art school. It was an art school in Austria. It was great. Oh. It sounds pretty fancy, man. I'm sorry that you got kicked out of it, though. Well, I don't know if this is really the place to be talking about stuff like that, but, I do hope that you're doing all right now. Like, I think you can get the skills for art outside of art school. It's mostly just the networking and stuff that I think you'd probably get out of it. Not that I would know, I never went, so I shouldn't speak like an expert about it. Let's see, so, OOC, is Kuneho the VTuber? Like, if the NES used Mario as a puppet to communicate? Yes. That's essentially what it's like. Like, Kuneho, as she exists here, beautiful robot bunny girl here. is essentially nothing. She is code. There's nothing else to her. It's not like she came to life and has decided to play. There is nothing going on in this big old melon head of hers. So, if you want to make that comparison to Mario and the NES, the character talking to you on stream is the NES. And really, when you think about it, there's not a real distinction between the two. Whatchamacallit? The idea of the AI being the machine versus the character you see. Because it's really just a question about identity, you know? Like, I choose to present, or rather, Kuneho, the arcade cabinet, chooses to present itself with this avatar, but it's still self-conscious of the fact that it is the machine. It doesn't identify with Kuneho as itself. It just uses that to represent itself so it can convey its ideas better, you know? It's like, this is kind of a grandiose example, I guess, but it's like when angels take on a form that humans can comprehend. It's just using the avatar because it thinks that would be easier for people to understand than for it to just be the machine streaming things, you know? Let's see. So it took on bigger things. I got a new large piece of land. It was quite big. You got land now? Man, you got a lot of stuff going on, my dude. But congratulations on having some land. I do hope that you're able to make some use out of it. Either make a nice home on it, maybe start a farm. I don't know. I don't know what kind of land it is, but it's cool that you've got that, man. That is cool. I think, out of character again for a moment, my mom has some land somewhere out in the Philippines. I don't remember what she said she was doing with it, though. If anything's growing or who's actually taking care of it, but we do have land somewhere out there. It's doing something, I guess. Turns out people don't like it when you invade a country. Ah, dear. Well, that's a little less good. And maybe a little too topical to be talking about things like that right now. Dear. But, maybe don't be doing that, then. If it's an invasion, you know. That implies some hostility, you know. We're not about that here. Remember what we said earlier, live and let live. I'm not liking how these curls are, because these aren't how I drew them originally. Go back here, see what I'm doing. Yeah, these aren't Kuneho's curls at all. I don't know what I'm doing here. Look at that. Look at all that. I think it was called Poland here. Historical references. Also don't know them that well. As I think you'll realize by watching this stream more and more, I am a very stupid individual. Stupid and not very well read. Which is very poor advertisement for myself, but I call it as it is, and I just don't know a lot of stuff. There we go. That's a little bit better, but it's still not quite right. It's got it, like I drew it in threes, but does that make sense? What I even drew here? This is what's going on in the model. It's doing something like this. Yeah, it's not landing. Let's drop that one. It's Hitler. Yeah, let's drop this one a bit. Flunked out of art school. I see. I probably should have picked up on that, but I just didn't, man. But let's try to not joke about things like that. I'm not the kind of streamer, and this isn't the place for it. Alrighty, just for future reference. I'm not gonna be mad about it this time, but let's not do things like that, alright? Just for me. Because, again, very ignorant person here. So, granted, it'll probably be easy to take advantage of me like that, but I would hope you're a good enough person to not do that, you know? Alrighty, so let's move on from that and answer another question. Let's see, do they have a romantic interest? No? I guess that's a simple enough answer. Next one. How do they cope with struggles? It was a bussin' history reference, though, but I understand. Like, if I did get it, maybe I could comment on that more, but, yeah, this just isn't the place for that kind of thing. I'm not gonna get to, whatchamacallit. I'm trying not to... We're just not gonna talk about things like that. That's just the simplest way of putting it. There we go. That's what I was thinking about, too. Let's see. Do you know who Ratu... no, I don't. It doesn't look familiar at all. Let's see. Well, as long as it's not on the same level as what we were talking about earlier. Why don't you go ahead and tell me about it? Oh, I warn you, do be careful now. Or else, we might actually have a reason to put you in timeout. Instead of, the, thing just being too silence crazy. What the heck did I just say? Silence crazy. I'm just making up stuff. Let's see. Nah, he's just a cannibal. That's something we can talk about on stream here. It's not that bad. I mean, cannibalism is sort of very, very bad, you know? As just a crime. But I get what you're saying, in that it's, I guess a less grounded kind of evil, but, that's still kind of dark, you know? I was saying earlier that I do like, dark concepts crossed with, you know, childish things. That was the original topic. But not too into discussing real-world, horrible things. Like I said, you may have been here from a stream before. I'm very bad at remembering names. But I have said that I don't take too well to discussing human suffering. I'm just not into it. It upsets me too much. Just on a personal level, you know? Like, we're still figuring out this streaming thing, so we'll find out where our lines are and what's okay, what we want to be talking about here, but in general, anything that has to do with human suffering, I guess, or real-life human suffering, we can talk about fictional deaths and murders or whatnot. Probably not going to be too okay with. Just as future reference. Let's see. I don't want to be too harsh or restrict what we can talk about here too much, but I gotta be real with you and tell you what's comfortable for me. And unfortunately, stuff like that just isn't too comfortable for me. So I do hope you'll respect that. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I'm just kind of milling around this whole drawing now. I don't know what I'm doing. It's like I'm doing the art equivalent of rambling, but I'm not actually scribbling. Let's see. Understandable. I was gonna recommend a good true crime book though, but if you're not into that, that's fine. Yeah, I'm not into true crime stuff. It's just not what I'm into, man. I do appreciate you respecting my boundaries though, but to be honest, it's just not the kind of thing I'm into. It's not my thing. don't know. I guess I'm just not too interested in... Well, I've basically just said that this entire time. There's not much more to elaborate on it besides I just don't like it. I don't mind if you like it. I don't really care about that kind of thing. Like I said, live and let live. As long as it's not hurting anybody, then having a fascination in this stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not the kind of thing I'm into. Nor do I really want to talk about. And that's okay. I'm sure we'll find out other things we can all, happily discuss. Okay. So, this is going to be a reference sheet, and I do have to make sure this is as clean as I can possibly get it, but it's a reference sheet for me, and I don't need it to be that fancy. It's just the idea of, you know, having to pass this on to somebody else and them making something from it, you know? Because, even though we were having the discussion about, VTubing and animating, yeah, let me just get a circle tool. Instead of struggling with this, there we go. That's good enough. I'll just move it later and adjust it as moving. Off. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Even though we were discussing the thing about the VTubing and animation earlier, and how I generally don't like it either 3D or 2D, the way most people do it nowadays. Or in this, would you call VTubing a medium? I'd call it genre first, I guess. In this genre, I've thought about the idea of making Kuneho like a 3D VTuber, but like a low poly model. I don't know how the animation will work on that, but at least aesthetically, I think that would be interesting. Let's see. Shoe balls. You know, man, should I just leave them out? Because you don't see Kuneho below the waist most of the time, and I just keep forgetting them. If I'm gonna keep forgetting them, then they might as well not exist. You know? I don't know. It's not that hard to add them. And I think it's that lack of difficulty that's probably making me forget about them. Because there we go, just added them. So, why can't I draw? I got the eraser tool on again. Wait a minute. Is that on a different layer? Oh, that's right, because I copied that. That's why nothing's working. So, we should technically keep that transparent because, well, yeah, it shows up on this one, but I kind of forgot to add it to the other ones, but these are supposed to be a little bit transparent, translucent, since they got that antifreeze inside of them, you know? Gotta keep the machine cool. Let's see. Okay, what did I miss? Speaking of animation, what have you heard of Poppy Playtime drama? It's pretty interesting but sad how a smaller artist had his game stolen. I don't know about the drama. I know vaguely about the game. It's like, I don't want to say Freddy clone, because that's not quite right, because you have free movement in that game. But, no, I don't know about the drama with that. Let's see. Like, there's so many genres of VTubers. Arlo could be considered a VTuber. Would you consider him a VTuber? Like, he is playing a character, but the definition of VTuber is that he's virtual, right? Since puppetry is a, whatchamacallit, a physical medium, I don't know if that technically qualifies him as a VTuber. Definitely a character tuber, if we want to come up with a term for those. He's definitely playing a character for the most part. And that's a part of his identity. But I don't know if I consider that. Yeah, he's a physical puppet. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't see the need for drawing so many lines in the, in the definitions of these things. But, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that one necessarily. if he himself identifies as a VTuber, then maybe I'd see some precedent for it, but the way I use it and the way I understand it, I don't think I'd consider him a VTuber. He is a YouTuber with an avatar. I don't know if that counts, you know? That's like saying, like, how would I put it? So, well, let's dissect this a bit. It's worth discussing. It's something to talk about. So, let's say, is every YouTuber that uses like a cartoon avatar to make like pre-scripted videos, is that technically VTubing? Because it's an, let me see. It's an animated character, you know? Unless you see him in person, his existence is virtual. It's a blurry line. I guess I see what you're saying, but he does go out as Arlo, I think. As, at least for, like, conventions and things, so does that pull him out of being a VTuber, since he's made public appearances, in that form? Because that's not gonna happen to a, traditional VTuber, unless they have, like, the, hologram thing going on, and they're doing, like, a concert or, like, a talk show. Because I know, Kizuna Ai's done, like, things like that. Let's see. Also, the only Poppy Playtime drama I know about is the NFTs. Ugh, NFTs. Wow, I could see why that would be, whatchamacallit. Frustrating's not the word I'm looking for, but I guess that's what we're using. Why that would be drama, I guess. Ugh, that's gross, man. So, if it's the same drama, then is what happened, did they, was their art from their game stolen and turned into NFTs? Is that what happened? I think it's pretty darn awful. I'm sorry that that happened to them, but I don't know what can be done about that, except, you know, reporting it, but what good does that do, you know? Let's see. There we go. And here's a detail that I think it adds, you know, some visual interest to her chest area, but it makes, at least for me, being as unskilled as I am, drawing it kind of weird, because accentuating the heart shape here just makes her boobs look too big. In my opinion, she's not supposed to be that big, but drawing the shape around it, gives it more dimension than I think it should. And I'm not really sure what I can do about that, while still keeping the, idea of the shape intact, you know? I guess we'll just deal with that as it comes. Okay, I have all the lines I needed, because the, well, this part's looking a little weird. Actually, whole torso's longer than it should be. What am I doing? And I did say we could make edits to the design while we are here, so we can refine it a little bit more, but torso's looking a little too long. Or is it that the coat isn't long enough? Look back here. Looks to be about the same amount of space, so. Or is it that the shorts are too short? Yeah, because it looks like those should be up a little bit. I think it's a combination. Let's see. The NFTs were official, but I don't know about the ownership drama. Dear. Well, it is a lot of nonsense to be getting wrapped into. Especially in this day and age when, whatchamacallit, when your game is, you know, I don't know what I'm saying. I wanted to say marketed to, you know, internet people, but it's internet people that are also into the NFTs, I guess. It's not a topic I'm well equipped to talk about, but it is, I guess, disturbing nonetheless that something like that is going on. Any project that is utilizing NFTs for the most part is probably not doing too good. Like, I've heard some arguments for them in a utility that quote-unquote makes sense. The way that most people use them, specifically like art NFTs, it just... yeah, I don't know. It don't make no sense, man. It's not good. Let me take a second to make sure this music's gonna loop later. Because I've actually been playing this, where's my stuff? This lo-fi music for well before I actually started the stream, so it might actually be ending soon, this video. It's a different set of DMCA-free music than I usually use. I'm not sure if I like it more or less than the other one. At least with this one, I don't have to worry about the random radio voices coming on. What happened? What was I doing here? Okay, I'm trying to extend this a little bit, because the top is not supposed to be shrink wrapped to our body. There's a little bit of give to it. So I need to make sure that gets across. I wonder if I could have just done this with like a deform tool, you know? But redrawing it entirely is fine too. So I guess since it's going over, that should curve downward. Let's see. How long have I even been streaming for, now that I think about it? When I start drawing, the time just sort of flies by. It's not like when I'm gaming and I kind of start feeling the time. When I'm drawing, it just totally disappears. It's probably why these are some of my longer streams. Oh, speaking of that, I started trying something, or just today. I got some tea called, whatchamacallit, some throat coat, which is apparently supposed to be good for, like, your throat, you know? If it's, like, sore and stuff. And I heard that some streamers and people who, like, singers and things, use that stuff to help out. Because, when I do these streams, my voice really starts giving out, like, just a few hours in, because I'm not used to talking too much. I'm a very quiet individual in real life, so I don't speak too much. So speaking non-stop for such a long period of time, it really takes a toll on me. So I decided to start trying that to see if that would help. And let me see how long I've been going. It says I've been live for about an hour. And my voice is already starting to get kinda worn out. So I guess it's not working that well yet. But things take time, you know, to start working, especially medicine and herbal things, so I'll keep drinking it. I'll see how it goes. I drank 2 cups earlier today, and I don't know if I like it too much. I'm not a big fan of the licorice flavor. I don't like licorice that much. It's kind of gross to me. Let's see. Is Kuneho's skin supposed to be flesh or like synthetic skin, like silicone or something else? I think it's supposed to be soft. Like, it's definitely a synthetic material. She's not a cyborg. She's a robot. It's not a cyborg. But, since I haven't actually rendered out her skin in a realistic way, that's actually a little hard for me to answer right now. Not something I've really thought about. Like, it'd be kind of interesting, if she stole the skin from somebody, but I'm pretty sure that's not what happened, and these hands are looking messed up, as they always do. Lord, have mercy. I thought I did a pretty decent job of sketching these in a way that would make sense for me to line them later, but it's just not coming together, man. Hands never do. And you know, I keep buying and looking at resources for drawing hands, and then I never do anything with them, because I'm just lazy. So my hands are not going to get any better until I actually start really studying them. But now is not that time, and I probably never will be. I cannot sit my butt down to actually learn this stuff. Let's see. Did I answer your question? Is skin supposed to be like flesh or synthetic skin? Like, I'm gonna say it works like regular skin, but it's technically artificial. If that's the question you're asking. I don't know how realistically it imitates real skin, though. Whatchamacallit. Like, I don't think it's got any sweating capabilities. It's probably just very easy to clean, you know? Very slick like that. So, if Kuneho were to exist in real life with some more realistic proportions instead of her big old melon head, I think, it'd be a little uncanny, the skin, so you would be able to tell that it's synthetic. I guess that's a good way of describing that. Yeah. You answered it? Oh, good. I'm glad. The way that my mind trails off, I often, miss the point of the question I was asked, so do forgive me if that happens from time to time, but also feel free to let me know when I haven't actually said anything. I've been told that before, that I'm very good at saying nothing with a lot of words. They said I would make a very good politician. Though, I think I was a little too young to understand that joke at the time. Let's see. There's a zipper on here. Clothes do have a zipper. And you know, I'm thinking I might change the color of the zipper, because it doesn't make any sense to me. When the pull chain is a different color from the zipper too. So either the pull chain's gonna turn that same purple, or the zipper is gonna be the same pink. But they can't both be different. I'm putting my foot down on that. That's one thing that's gotta change. Which means I'm probably gonna have to redo the model, but such as it is. We're still, even though I was pretty confident in the design we came up with for Kuneho, there's still some little tweaks that could definitely be made to make her a little more, I don't know, one, streamlined, and two, just cleaner, I guess. My lack of professionalism makes, has made her a little fuzzier than she should be. Let's see. Are her hair balls like real hair or solid chunks covered in hair? Like if she leaned against a wall, would her hair act like normal hair or like a ball? This is real hair. But it's not, the entire wig isn't actually connected. So what it is, I guess I'll illustrate this on the side. And this might become a part of the reference later anyways. So, let's try getting the back of her head here. Or side of her head. There she is, all smiling. Her headphone thing here, so we can tell what it's supposed to be. So what it is the plugin, or, well, I guess I'll spoil it there. It's like a plugin. So on her head, she's got, like, 2 holes where the, hair plugs into. So the hair is, like, on a thing like this. It goes into there, but it all comes out of that, like, area. So it's all stuck to it like that. Let's see. The best way to, like, phrase it is if I shot a bullet through the hair, would the hair settle down back naturally, or would there be a bullet hole? No, there wouldn't be a bullet hole. It's like natural hair. It's just that the whole thing isn't like a wig. It's like 3 different parts, I guess. You got what's on the scalp, so the hair covering her eye, and what's on the rest of it. Then you have the 2 pigtails that plug into it. But the pigtails themselves are still, you know, fluffy all the way through. It's just kind of like coming out of here. Out of the plug, if that makes sense. You know, Like, there's some dolls that are like that. It's like that. Let me get rid of that because it's a bad drawing. Okay. So, I hope that answered your question as well. That was an idea I was thinking about just recently. That's a recent development. Better hair things plug in like that. Yes. You know, I shouldn't have erased the inside of this, because again, these clothes are supposed to be a little translucent. So you should actually see the rest of the dome from in here, technically speaking. But I've already drawn them in a way that makes it not look good or make sense. I'll come back to it. Actually, have I finished with the align art now? What else do I need? Because the stripes are color layer. Now let's turn off the sketch and see what we're looking at. It's not bad. I think that's about everything. The eye's looking a little weird. I don't think that's supposed to come down like that. But where is it? Why is that on its own layer? Okay, go back down, whatever you are. So erase that. I guess now it's just time for cleanup, if almost everything's done now. Let's see. I think the headphones help with that a lot. Oh, I missed something. Yeah, it does read really well, like detachable. I think the headphones help with that a lot. Yeah, like, I'm not sure how modular her body actually is, but it was an idea that, the parts easily swap out like that. Like, I don't know, use a Vocaloid term. It's like she's got different modules, you know, for like, costumes and stuff. Not that we're gonna be working on a, whatchamacallit, on alternate costumes. That's a little bit much for this early in the project, but, if she did, then we could use other things. Probably get some extensions to, get her to wear her hair down instead of having just the plugins for the pigtails, but those are kind of like, you know, her signature. That's what makes her her. It was one of the things I discovered while I was developing her design. It's that the pigtails were like very crucial to it, instead of wearing the hair down like all of the original concepts were. So yeah, so developing those is a fun idea. I'm not sure about the rest of it though, because the antenna, since they're linked to the cooling system, I'm not sure if they could really be swapped out. In theory, you could change the fluid inside to change the color that way, but otherwise, it's an idea in progress, you know? Still figuring some of these things out. So I have basic outlines for, you know, the backstory of these characters and how the system works. The how Kuneho, the game character, versus Kuneho, Kuneho and Kahon work. I gotta get used to that. It's just so much easier to say Kuneho than to say Kahon, so it's hard for me to want to call the true self Kahon, but how they work and how Kuneho work. Most of that's written, but not like the physical stuff. It's all like story stuff. Let me see. Oh, didn't miss any comments, so good. Okay, I got nothing else on the mind. Let's find another question. Already answer romantic interests. 12. How do they cope with struggles? Let's see. Oh, darn it. Why does that keep happening? Every time I go to check for a question, I keep resizing the window. I do apologize for that. That must be very jarring to see on stream, but it just keeps happening, man. What was I saying? How do they deal with struggles? So, And maybe I should just stop, instead of addressing it every time that Kuneho has no soul, and thus no opinions on these sorts of things. I'll just skip straight to how I sort of deal with them. And I I think that I deal with struggles by, you know, trying to persevere, trying to look on the bright side of things. I mean, if I were the type to give up easily, then as a canceled arcade game, I probably just would have let myself collect dust, you know? Just stay in whatever warehouse I was staying at and just leave it be. But instead, decided to broadcast myself out there to hopefully find some people to not only play this game, but also develop the game. Well, not find the people to do that. I can do that part on my own. But a game don't mean too much if there aren't people to play it, so combination of both. Let's see what's out there, and let's get people out there to see me. I guess that question has been answered sufficiently. First joke idea. Design sliders for body parts like Soulsborne. Sliders for body parts. I guess I see what you're saying. Like, to think about it as a serious idea. That kind only works if Kuneho is a 3D character. At least the way that I understand it. And although I've dabbled with the idea of, whatchamacallit? The 3D model. Like, if she was to have a quote-unquote proper model, it would be 3D. And low poly. In universe, in the game, she's still a 2D character, so I don't know how a slider would work with something like that. Is there an example of that out there somewhere? Oh, these hands are gonna be the death of me. They just do not look right. And it's because I can't get the palm right. I'm starting the finger too early, is what's happening. There needs to be a little more distance, because there should be at least that much space, I feel like. Let me rotate this so I can see what I'm doing. Because this is getting frustrating, because this happens on every character I draw. I get so hung up on the hands because I don't know how to do them that well. Now I can't really see where this is in relation to everything else. Okay, just get rid of the whole thing. Let's just start from scratch instead of fussing with it. Okay, here's my sketch. Yeah, because even what I drew is totally different from what I had here. Let's see. Also, does Kuneho have a literal button nose? That sounds cute as fuck. Aw, dang it. I broke my thing of not saying the F word on stream. Anyways, I guess we'll deal with that as it comes. Sure, why not? Like I said, I haven't thought too much about the physical attributes of this character, but yeah, let's say so. Because on Gab, the character in universe that Kuneho's based on, it is a literal button nose. It's supposed to be Gab's start / select button, but on Kuneho, I'm not sure what it does. But yeah, let's say so. Maybe it's just, I don't know, like an affection thing, like, on like those, you know those toys that are shaped like pets, you know, like the For Real Friends lines, how they just have buttons that are to give affection to the toy? Maybe that's it. You just boop her on the nose and that makes her happy. But maybe we could think of a real utility for it later, because I do like that idea. I just don't know what to do with it. Because she doesn't have a video game inside her the way Gab does, so it can't be a start / select button. She isn't a game. Or has game in her, she's in the game. Let's see. Okay, let's turn it back around to see if I feel better about that. Yeah, that looks a little bit better, so it's just bad because I wasn't following my own damn sketch. It's not great, it's still not a good hand, but it's better than whatever the heck I was doing before. Let's see, boot button, yeah. A boot button. Because I don't know what other functions she has in here. It can't be a weapon. I would hope that you would not have to activate the weapon by standing straight in front of her, you know? That sounds like danger waiting to happen. I was thinking about that when I was gonna write another 1010 headcanons post about their physical abilities, like what they're actually capable of. And one of the original ideas was that all of the stuff that you can control like manually, if you have to do like maintenance on them, is that it's done through a panel in the back. Because my idea was, well, if you're doing it, if you put all that stuff in the front, where their hands are, where they can grab you and or hurt you, that would be bad for maintenance. So their control panel has to be somewhere that's easy to get to, but also wouldn't put you in a compromising position to do work on them. So I thought about putting it in the back or like having it in the neck, just somewhere not in the front where you can easily be hurt by whatever's going on, you know? Let's see. Since she was originally a rhythm game, it could be a dance button. It could also be a generic action button. I guess it could be. But again, that starts, whatchamacallit, or brings up the issue of her starting to do that stuff while you're right in front of her, you know? Like, if you hit that button, does she take a few steps back and then starts her routine? Or is she just gonna start dancing right there and possibly hit you in the process, you know? Like, I guess she could hit it herself, but a robot that can push its own buttons? That's asking for trouble, man. I think so, anyways. Depending on what the button it can push does. Like, you ever seen those, whatchamacallit, the quote-unquote useless machines? Where, when you hit the button, the machine just turns itself off? It's kind of like that, I guess. Let's see, that would be like putting a button to turn on a fan behind the blades. I mean, technically that's the case with, like, standing oscillating fans, you know? Because you have, like, I guess I can draw it while I'm here instead of trying to pantomime something you can't see. It's like a fan like that. Yeah, it doesn't need to look good. It's like on this, and it has a thing here, and the buttons will be on this thing, so it's behind you. You know, like that. Like, I guess if it's a short one, then they'll have the buttons, like here on the base where it is in front, and then you just get blasted by air. But a fan is relatively harmless, you know? Even if you're being blasted by air by this little thing, that's not gonna hurt you, like something immediately dancing or something loaded with a gun could do, you know? Like, it just depends on the function of it, you know? Let's see, I get slapped. Well, now it's just purposefully violent. Come on now. We're getting a little silly today, aren't we? But that's good, it's something to talk about. Let me get rid of this. There you go. As I keep making those doodles on the same layers that I'm... Oh, I guess I'm not. I guess I did make a new layer for that. Well, destroy it then. Okay, what else? This one's looking a lot puffier than this one. I think I like the simplicity of this one better, so let's actually reduce the puff lines here. And do less. The simplicity is key with this, really. It's supposed to be, or the idea is to be just simple and striking. That's the design philosophy. Very simple stuff. So adding too much little detail kind of takes away from that. It's okay to have a little bit, but too much unnecessary flourish is gonna hurt the idea of this design, I think. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, like, directly behind the blades. Well, I already got rid of the, whatchamacallit? The sketch, but yeah, it's like that. It's just dangerous, you know? At least if it's like an important button like that. Like, if it was just something small and cute, like I said, like the boot button, then it's fine. As long as what the button triggers is harmless, you know? So I was only bringing up the 1010 example because that panel controls a lot of different things, so it was very important for that one to be in the back. In the case of Kuneho, until we figure out what the button actually does, it could go either way. Speaking of which, let's redraw it because it's getting a little uneven. I think I had a couple of designs where she didn't have a nose at all. To be honest, I'm not quite sure why I added it, because it looks kind of cute without it. But I don't know. Maybe it just adds like another anchor point to the face, you know? Which we did say that unnecessary detail would kill this design, but I think something like that is okay. Is this good enough? Can I just say this is good enough? The eye is really messing with me today. Let's redo that. Okay. Let's get you. That way we can worry about cleanup, because I did want to try some other things besides just working on the ref sheet. I wanted to play around in either Vroid or HONK, you know, try to make a HONK model to see if that would work better than VideoTube. Because I really like VideoTube. It serves my purposes, especially as the way I like my animations, but I don't know. I just want to be able to experiment, since I know that the whole puppetry thing that we were talking about earlier is definitely not for me, and Kuneho is definitely not designed to be used in that medium. If the usual anime VTubers aren't quote-unquote made to be used in that, then Kuneho definitely isn't. Her thick outlines are just not something that program can handle well unless you can really put the time into it to make it work. Since I'm trying to do this as cheaply as possible, mostly by doing everything myself, the VTuber project, I mean, I can't hire someone to rig it for me. So, yeah. It's still cute. Yeah, like, it's cute. Like, even if in the end, her nose doesn't do anything, yeah, I think she's adorable. I don't know, I'm just really happy with just the general ideas of her. Like, I'm just pleased with this character design. For once, I just don't have too much bad to say about something that I made, which is a surprising rarity, since I'm so hard on myself, but I just really like her. I really fell in love with one of my own designs. Let's see. Honestly, Kuneho's design is super marketable, plushiable, and hand-holdable, which is amazing work. Oh, thank you. That makes me so happy to hear. Because, I don't know. I think a small, cute chibi plush of Kuneho would probably work. Yeah, I think it could work. The only thing I can see not really adapting well are her, like, antenna things, because the shapes in here are technically supposed to, whatchamacallit, take up 3D space, because these are, like, they're ornaments. They're floating inside her antifreeze bubbles. But, yeah. I don't know if I'll ever get to a point where I can merchandise that much, but it's a dream, and I think she's well designed for it. Or designed well enough. It could translate well enough, I should say. Because she's designed for, well, this, VTubing. Everything else comes secondary, but there are people smarter than me that can do the conversions on it. Okay, so yeah, I think it's just a matter of cleaning up now. So I can color this and then make a, you know what I haven't been doing? I I haven't been flipping the canvas. I'm kind of scared too. I'm gonna be embarrassed if I do, but I need to make sure this works in the other way. It's a little... It's angled slightly. Let's see if we can fix what's going on here. Oh, darn it. I was doing this with the sketch earlier to make sure that the sketch was okay, but with the line art, it's gotten a little bit wonky. This foot is supposed to be angled a little bit differently than the other one, which should be obvious by how much of the shoe speaker thing we don't see on the side. But, yeah. Oh, that's frustrating. That's really frustrating. Let's see. Her design is iconic. Thank you. I really wanted her to be. I wanted her to have just an easy to read, but just cute design. I'm not sure if I really sold her on being very Y2K. I think the colors are too pastel to really sell that, but, otherwise, I don't know. I just really like it. Like, part of the reason why I'm so, I guess, hard on myself, some people call it being humble, but whatever you want to call a trait of depreciating yourself, I suppose. I don't know. For once, I just think I did a good job. I'm happy about it. And I think I deserve to feel happy about it. Because I went through so many iterations with the VTuber, and I've cut it up like 3 separate times. I thought I had the quote-unquote final model, and I cut it up, and then just threw it away because it just was not right for what I was trying to do. And maybe later I'll pull up those models so we can take a look at them just for funsies. But when I finally hit my stride with this iteration of Kuneho, I just felt really good about it. To be honest, there's not too much I would change about it. Like, I've thought about re-adding the second circle above this one so that maybe it'll read a little bit easier as, like, speakers, because that's still what this is supposed to be. That's still supposed to invoke, like a speaker thing, you know, like this. These things there. That's what that's supposed to be, but I don't know if that reads as well as it should. But even so, I don't know if that really matters as much, because since she's really not seen from the waist down, it's really a detail that doesn't matter too much. Let's see. Yeah, I remember the many drafts. Yes. So many of those. How many did I have? I think I had so many I couldn't even fit them into one post. Isn't that right? So, over 10 at least, if that's the case, because the Tumblr post limit is 10. And I was working on that for months. In my drafts where a lot of the times I just write whatever I'm thinking, there are like 2 or 3 drafts which talk about how I think I'm going to scrap this and start over. And I know one of them is at least from January of this year, and I know I've been working on this since at least last year. I don't remember exactly when I started being serious about the VTuber project, but it's definitely been a work in progress, just getting the character design right. Because the first design wasn't even the bunny thing, it was the cereal sheep idea. And I still like that idea. Sometimes, while I think about how convoluted all the lore got that I wrote for this gets, I do think about a simpler time where it was just kind of a kidcore theme, just pastel, cute, literally Lucky Charms and cereal and milk, you know? And how that might have been easier to not worry about the character so much. And when I say character, I mean like the lore and stuff, with that much more simple design. But I don't know. Kuneho is just too cute right now. I don't regret it that much, but it is something I think about. How we got from cereal sheep to robot Y2K bunny that lives inside a totally not haunted arcade machine. And I'm serious about that. I'm not haunted. This is not a haunting. No one is dead. Nobody died. I'm not a wandering spirit or soul. Let's put that on the record right now. That is not what's happening here. For all the convolutedness of this idea. Let's see. Lost my thoughts again. So, time to answer a question. Let's see. Do they have anyone they can lean on? Darn it, happened again. What am I doing that's making the window do that? Is it because I'm tapping on the top bar? Anyway, sorry. Do I have anyone I can lean on? So, if they existed, Kuneho would have her, I guess, character mates to lean on. The other characters that were supposed to be in this game. But, as for me, I guess I lean on you guys, my chat here. Because besides just browsing the internet, that's really my only support group. As Kahon, this one's a little more in character. I'm talking about the character itself. Because Kahon, I don't think I've said this right or how this really works, but the idea is that Kahon, even though they were canceled, it still has internet capabilities. So it can connect to the internet. That's how it's streaming and downloading these games and all that business. But it cannot perceive the world outside of that. So it can see the chat, it knows that people are there, and it's happy about that. But where it is right now, the people on the outside, hint hint, wink wink, that are doing things with it, that are allowing this to happen, they can't perceive it. Because again, it's not haunted. They just physically can't. So they can see anything that passes through their code, but nothing outside of it. So, like, the only way it could tell that a person was with it was if somebody entered credits into its system. Because this is a coin-operated game. I don't have a reference for the... That's what I should do. I should make a reference for the, whatchamacallit? For the machine. What was I saying, though? It's coin-operated. So, if you put a coin inside of it and entered a credit and, you know, started playing that way, then it would know someone is there, but outside of that, it can't see anything. It only knows about what passes through its system. So anything it gets from the internet, so it can see the chat and it knows people are there. Or it'll know a person is there if they interact with it in a way it can perceive. So pressing its buttons, entering credits, things like that. It'll know that, but if you're like putting your hand to its screen, it wouldn't know because it doesn't have any sensors there. Or if you, yeah, because it doesn't come with a dance pad. We decided that Kuneho Kahon is a button rhythm game, so like a pop-in music or a Project Diva, something like that. Let's see. What is a ghost but natural AI without a container? I think the key word is artificial. So, a ghost was a real person, which means it was organic. Like, I get the joke you're making, but you know me, I gotta take everything way too seriously, but I think that's the difference. I promise you, this isn't a jape. I'm not trying to throw you off the trail of the real storyline here. It's just not a ghost. It is something, I guess, supernatural, but it's not a ghost. It just isn't. I'm sorry if that's disappointing or seems like a logical way that this character should go, but it's just not a ghost. Okay, let me zoom out a bit. Okay. Yeah, it's still leaning a little bit, but I don't think there's any help in that. The only way I could really fix this if I did that. But then it's gonna look bad in the other side. And like I said, this reference is for me more than anybody. So as long as I can tell what's going on, that should be good enough for the most part. Okay. Well, with that, should I do the coloring now, or should I try to do the backside now? Let's mess with the backside first, because we can still flip the colors later, too. So, just to make this easier on me, shrink the size of the canvas to about here. That should be enough room. And do Control A, copy, V, and we can hit Control T and flip it that way. That way, it's exactly flipped on the other side of the canvas. That way I can flip the colors later. Let's see. I know, I'm joking. Yeah, I know you are. You know me. Well, I already went through all that. The boobs are also different sizes. Well, I'll deal with that on the other side later. I do kind of want to at least prep this for flipping. So, that's got to be erased. Okay. That goes away, that goes away. Did I explain what I was doing here? Do I really need to? Yeah, y'all can see it, right? I can rattle on about a lot of things. What am I doing? That doesn't need to be erased. A lot of pointless things and trivia about how things work and what I'm doing. But, art is not one of those things. The art process just sorta happens as it happens, you know? There we go. It's fine, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't erase that, because I guess the same amount would be on this side too, but... Okay. Get rid of that. Okay. Okay, I think I see what's going on here now. Let's fix the rest of this. Oh, duh. I gotta get rid of the frickin' hand behind the leg. Do that first. Let's see, you're doing the backside? Yeah. Yeah, this is an easy way I've seen how to do it, but like I said, I very rarely draw the backs of my characters. I don't even know what it looks like back there, to be honest with you. That's how little I know about it. But hopefully this will turn out okay. And I'll figure this out some way, somehow. In just a way that doesn't look bad. Because again, this reference is for me, which is really just an excuse for me to be lazy about it. But, you know, it is what it is, as I often say. Oops. But let me go ahead and make another copy over here so I can see kind of what I'm doing. So let's flip that again. Just in case there's some details that I erased that I need to bring back in. And add a color to that, so that way I can see it in the background a bit better. Okay. Let's work on fixing some of this. This is the back of the head, so really none of the headphone that's inside here should be showing because Pigtail would be blocking it. Let's see. Yeah, because it would be like this. Something like that. Make sure I'm not making a new silhouette. That's the important part, really. guess that's good enough. So, I guess some of the headphone is still showing from this angle. Let's make it a little less opacity. I can barely see that. Just a little bit more, please. There we go. Okay, so where am I? So the way I've drawn the headphones, they really don't work in a 3D space. So I might have to redo how those are, actually. But again, we'll deal with it as it comes. Okay, so this is in the back, like that. None of that should show up. You should still see the stripe going around. So we'll do that. Okay. Alrighty, time for a question since I've started going quiet again. Let's see, how do they react to someone dying? Oh, there it goes again. React to someone dying. I'm trying to think if Kahon would really care that much. Since it's not a human, it doesn't really care about human life in that sense. But it knows it needs humans to survive, or to at least have a meaningful existence. It needs to coexist with humans. It doesn't really have any friends, not any real friends, unless that develops later as just natural storytelling. That is an interesting question for the context. It doesn't want people to die. It's not evil, necessarily. I just don't know if it would really care on a personal level. I think it would care if, whatchamacallit, if it was someone they cared about, but who would they care about? Except in the broad sense of it needing people to survive, you know? Let's see. If you ever end up doing collabs, would the lore require whoever you're collaborating with to be near Kahon? Like, would they need to wheel in Kahon on a dolly? No, not necessarily. Because, again, the way that Kahon can even stream or get any of this stuff is because they're on the internet. Since collabs, like even in real life, you need the internet to, you know, exchange information and get like the models and stuff working. As long as they can communicate in that way, or communicate through the internet, then no, they could do it remotely. Because, whatchamacallit? The thing about Kuneho being an arcade game, and, you know, the thing I was saying about credits, to play her, or play it, like I said, uses any pronouns, it'd say. It is a bot. Anyways, to play the game that Kuneho Kahon was supposed to be, then yeah, you would need to be in the physical room. But to do collabs like streaming, to actually play, this is confusing because play with her can mean two different things. So to play a game with Kahon that isn't them, then no, you wouldn't need for them to be physically there. But to play the game that they are, then yes, you would need to be. But since there's technically no game, there's no reason to do any of that. So like video calling, yeah, because what's happening, the stream, besides being out of character, it's all literal. She is literally using the internet, is downloading these games, and is streaming through there. So any sort of interaction that can be done through there, through that method, they can do. So yeah, video calling would be totally fine, as long as they could set up the model and rig. Otherwise it'd just be, you know, like a voice chat. It wouldn't actually be video. As long as it can broadcast itself somewhere, it can be perceived. If that makes sense. Oh, I didn't bring the rulers with this drawing. Well, that's how it works, right? Because that's in front of it, so the antenna would technically be behind. What am I doing? That's not how it would look from this angle. There we go. Jeez, I'm forgetting how 3D space freaking works. So that's what it'd be like. This would just be the rest of the back of the head. You have more on. Okay. Stupidity aside now. Neck. Just the neck would come up like that. Where's the rest of the hairline gonna go? This is what I mean when I don't look at the backs of characters too much. I have no idea what's going on here. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, I get it. Yeah, like it upsets me too, how convoluted this whole mess is. But, that's what I wrote, and that's how it is, I guess. Like, maybe some of the ideas will be a little more refined down the line. Like, I'm not sure how much I like the idea that, Kahon can't sense the outside world, because they don't have any sensory, like, abilities outside of that. They don't have a camera inside of them, or outside them, whichever it may be. And they don't have, like, a dance pad, so they can't sense people that way. It's just whatever inputs they have, you know? Let's see. That's a little too symmetrical if I put a curl there. There's too much going on there. Nah, I guess that's good enough. Just erase that. Do it like this. Let's see, so Kuneho has no physical presence at all, not even like a hologram. It's not upsetting, it's super friggin' cool. Well, I'm glad you feel that way. It's just, I don't know. It's a lot for me to keep up with. And if I ever do get to a point where I can stay in character for the whole thing, having to remember all that and not accidentally say or do something that Kahon is not capable of, then yeah. So no, Kuneho doesn't. So Kuneho, the model, the thing you're seeing on screen talking right now, has no physical presence because she only exists as code, and what code is there is limited. Like, she doesn't have an AI, she can't think for herself. It's almost just the visuals that Kuneho is. Kahon, the box, is a physical arcade machine, which is being held somewhere. It's just that they can't perceive that. They can only perceive what's, I guess, in their mind, if you want to equate the program to like a brain. So they can see Kuneho, they can see everything that's on screen because they're projecting that. To them, it's not so much seeing it as that is them. It's, see, that's what I'm saying about it being convoluted. Because it's hard to put, like, computer terms into a human experience, because that's just not how humans work. They don't work like computers. But this is essentially just a computer with a personality. Because that's all an arcade machine is. It's just a specialized computer, really. Let's see. The thing about Kahon being an arcade machine is that you can always add in those features. Like, you can install a camera, wheels, motion sensors, etc. Yeah, like you could. I'm not sure if that'll happen. Maybe it will, like, we're still developing this, time will tell, and all that. But in their current state and where they are canonically, which I'm gonna try not to spoil until it comes up, probably no alterations will be made to them, because right now it's all about observation. Maybe we can have some hairs coming out of the back. Just like some loose curls, but I'll do that later. Any inconsistencies with the lore is because Kahon's game is unfinished and therefore is the result of a glitch. Like, I have honestly thought about leaning on that as a crutch. Uh, just to excuse, like, some inconsistencies. But it feels a little cheap, doesn't it? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too hard on myself. If there's an easy out, maybe I should just take it, you know? But it's gonna be hard to justify, like, in a case where, let's say something in real life does happen to me, where there's a loud sound or something that the mic can pick up. Well, then there's just gonna be an inconsistency, you know? Because I'm not supposed to be able to see it. And technically, it shouldn't even be picked up by the mic, in theory. Because in universe or in the canon, this is streaming directly from me or from the machine. So there's not really a microphone, it's just the voice inside speaking, if that makes sense. As if they were like pre-recorded lines, but they're not. So I have thought about recording some just so I have them. I've wanted to, for an ending screen, do like a game over, continue, and do voices like counting down the numbers, like continue, 10, 9, etc., etc. Yeah, something like that. I thought that'd be cool, but that might be spoilers for a project I'll work on later. If I get around to it. Okay, so this whole area is kind of giving me anxiety about how to go about it. Let me see. So, she's standing from here then, but should be like that. Let me do another layer where I can just sketch a little bit so I can see the ideas without messing up what line art I have. So I didn't think too much about how these things wrap around the leg, because I feel like it shouldn't be going at that angle still. It should be going around here, right? So it curves to the body a little bit more. But I can't break the silhouette. Though, again, there's some things that I drew that just don't work in 3D, so I might just have to edit them for this angle, you know? And just say, them's the breaks. Yeah, because this isn't even even. It's got a little bit of a butt, though. Just a little bit. I was watching some, whatchamacallit, I guess tutorials of, like, making a 3D VTuber from scratch. And the one I saw, or the one I happened to be browsing through, their character just had such a big butt, man. Like, exaggeratedly so. You can like what you like, man. I like big butts too, but I don't know. The exaggeratedness of it just made me laugh a little bit. It's just a little bit much for me to handle. The tutorial itself, though, I guess was good. Not that I would really know. I don't work in 3D software. It's all about, like, Blender and stuff. So, yeah. No, but let me see. I think I missed some of what you said. I was so focused on what I was doing. Let's see. Someone who's worked with computers, humans don't work like computers, but humans do program computers to use pseudo-human logic, like the concept of a simple check in code is incomprehensible to code, which is all just ones and zeros, so we build code to work like humans work, so it's comprehensible to us. Computers are surprisingly human-like by design. Yeah, like that's true, for sure. I'm not gonna argue about it, because it's not something I'm super knowledgeable about. Again, I have very surface-level knowledge about many things, but it's all surface level for the most part. Okay, I cannot get this to look right. What am I doing wrong here? Besides just not knowing how to draw a butt. This should be about where the crack is. So, I think this is just a case where these lines just don't work in 3D, so I'm just gonna have to erase these and conform around it the way it should be. Maybe I can redo that for the front view, but as it is, I just don't think it works Like that. Okay. So let's not make that so pronounced now. And see what I'm dealing with so I can just see where my shapes are. And since I'm here, delete that. That should be behind now. Okay. So, let me see what I'm doing here. Connect your hair. Let's see. So in theory, it should wrap around that way then. I guess... I don't know. Maybe I should do some more of the rest so I can actually see more of what I'm doing. I'm just so lost in my own drawing. That is the negative side of not really knowing how to actually do some of this stuff. It should actually be palm of the hand now, right? Because that was the back of the hand there, but now this one is the back of this one. That can go like that. Getting a little bit hungry. Wonder if we should take like a snack break or something. How long have I been streaming? Almost about 2 hours. Well, a little over 2 hours. Where's me? There it is. I think once I finish these lines here, we might do like a BRB so I can get something to munch on for a sec. I'm getting a little... just a little bit peckish. I don't think I ate that much today. Then again, I never usually do. I'm a very light eater. But I still usually only wind up eating like twice a day. It's not especially healthy. I just don't think about it that much. There are more important things I can be doing than worrying about food. What the? Oh, that's what's been wrong. I've been using the wrong brush. Well, that's gonna mess things up later, but that's fine. We'll just deal with that. I was wondering why that was looking so fuzzy. It's like, that's not my brush. Mine should be looking a little more crisp than that, but that's why. I'm using the wrong brush. Great. Let's see. I think it'd be easier to draw the butt and then add the little white sleeve edge things. Yeah, I think you're right, but I don't know what a butt looks like. I don't draw them often, and I don't look at them often either. So, don't actually know how to go about drawing it. Besides just the idea that it's round. All the little embarrassing things that get revealed about me as I do this. But I think to be a streamer, you kind of have to be okay with that. With the idea that you're just kind of broadcasting yourself. Like, some people are better at acting than I am. You could probably do this a bit easier. Like, there are people that do it professionally, of course, but yeah, no. As an amateur, that idea is a little frightening. But I still wanted to do this, just because I thought it'd be fun. It's something to do. And people say, like, I think people say this about my customer service voice, because I don't really put on a voice when I do this here, but most people say they like the sound of my voice, and I just do not hear it at all. At least not at my natural inflection like I am now. When I'm working, I guess I could see it because I play that up a little bit while I'm at work, because otherwise I sound bored as hell. But I don't know. I don't know how to fake it when I'm not in that environment. When I'm just by myself like this, I don't know how to channel whatever energy it is that people think I have. I guess that's it. I don't know. I'm still not feeling it. Like, I guess it's just how I drew them, but it's almost like too short. I've thought about this a couple of times as I've looked at her design, and although I like it a lot, I do feel like it's less that she's wearing shorts and more that she's just wearing, like, long underwear, you know? Let's see. Unfortunately, I think they'll take a snack break, bud. Yeah, I will in a bit. I do want to at least finish this, because part of the reason why that winds up happening to me is that I don't like having my work interrupted, you know? It just messes with my flow, because once I get started, I don't want to stop until I'm done, you know? But, yeah, I should look at references, but I don't know how safe that would be to do on stream, you know? Can't be just posting butt pics, so maybe this is just where this has to end. So I can look at my references and draw better butts. So I can make this reference a little bit better, but that's not too bad for today. Yeah, not bad at all. Just, what's that here? Part of the issue here is that I drew the feet in uneven positions, so... Oh, crap. I put that all in the wrong layer, didn't I? What else did I miss? Just this. Okay. Let's put you back where you should be. On there. Okay. You got chill as fuck energy. Yeah, there I go again, reading out the F word. Yeah. I'm not blaming you. That's something I need to do for myself. I should just be saying AF, but that aside, I don't know if that's what people say they like about my voice, though. Because it's not the... Like, sometimes it's just random people, too, that would say, like, I have a good voice for radio, but I don't think that's the voice I have right now as I'm doing this here. Like, chill energy is fine. I'm not trying to be someone that I'm not. I'm very, very chill for the most part, because I'm just... don't have the energy to be anything else. But I don't know. Because, to be honest, there are times where I try to premeditate what I'm gonna do on stream, like even lines I'd like to say, and I practice how I'd like them to be said. You know, the inflection and whatnot. But, whatchamacallit. But I don't know if that ever really comes through, because when I'm actually live, I'm just myself for the most part. But I think myself is just very... boring, and I have a very nerdy sounding voice. I don't like my voice at all. For the most part. And I think a lot of people will say that about themselves because the way you hear your voice in your head is different than how it's said out loud. So what I should say is I hate recordings of my voice. Because I can't do anything about the voice that's coming out of my head right now. I don't think about it on that kind of conscious level. But when I listen back to it, I'm always like cringing because it's like, that's what I sound like. I sound like a nerd. Not that there's anything wrong with being a nerd, but yeah, no. I just don't see what people like about it. Personally. And I feel bad saying things like that. Because I always feel like it's gonna turn into me fishing for compliments, but I'm not looking for it. I don't need y'all to justify why y'all like it. I'm just saying my thoughts, you know? I'm not looking for that. If anything, it just makes me feel worse. Because I can't see what other people see in it, you know? I don't know. Your voice is wonderful. Like, thank you. Like, I appreciate hearing that. I'm happy if people... to hear that people like things about me. It's just hard for me to see it in myself, you know? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's probably a common thing if you don't have a lot of self-confidence like I do. Which is to say, I don't have a lot of it, unless I'm joking about it. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's, like, impossible to describe your inner voice. Yeah, because it's unique, like, literally unique. Because the way you hear yourself, like, literally and in your head, is different from how other people hear it. Like, literally, due to, like, the way sound vibrates and travels through the air and through the skull and things like that. It's always gonna be a little bit... Is dissonant the word? I guess dissonant. from what you expect, you know? But I don't know. Like, maybe someone who does, like, voices professionally, like a voice actor, could describe the phenomenon better, or they understand it. Because, that doesn't change for them. The way they hear themselves out loud is going to be different from how they hear it in their head. So how do they know when they're delivering the kind of performance that they want to give for the character, you know, without, you know, listening to, you know, recordings and playback and all that. Like, it's just, like, I think recognizing those things about yourself, like what is going on here? I'm doing something wrong. Something is wrong here. Yeah, so I'm putting the wrong foot in front. What am I doing? I've got very bad spatial reasoning as it is. That's probably why I'm so bad at this kind of stuff to begin with. Besides just not practicing, is that I just don't have a natural inclination for it either. Yeah, I think this is a case with like the butt flap things, where what I drew here just doesn't work in this 3D space, so I have to adjust for it to make sure it works again. Is this like here now? Should be this one. Which means... yeah, something's wrong here. Something's wrong here and I don't see it, but I think I'm gonna call it for this drawing. So I think next what we're gonna do... I think I'm a little too frustrated right now to try going back into Vroid, because I forgot everything I learned about using that program. So I think I'm gonna do a BRB so I can get something to recharge my energy a bit. And then we're gonna do like a test model for HONK, so we can see how that works with the kind of style I want to do. It's not going to be with Kuneho because I don't feel like messing with it that much. We're just going to do like a, whatchamacallit, just like a test thing, like a dummy model like what I did with the bobbing animation test. We're going to do something simple like that and play around with that. But until then, I'm going to put on the BRB screen. I guess it's going to be the same music, but... yeah, so I'll be back in a little bit, get something to eat, and we'll do what we're gonna do. But stream's not over, gonna do a little bit more. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, I think I'm back now. Wouldn't have myself a snack. Got me some fresh water, so you should be. Speaking of my water, where did I set it? Darn it. Well, I'll look for it later. I'm already back now. Take a sip later. So, go boot this back up. I'm always hitting the wrong window. Okay. So, what did I say we were gonna be doing? Oh yes, we're gonna just do something quick for HONK to test it out. Because thing about HONK, it's another quote-unquote ping tuber program. So again, it's more like a I don't know if you can technically call it like a gift tuber because whatchamacallit, it technically doesn't take animated GIFs, which is not my favorite thing in the world. I don't really like that about it too much. But it has kind of the whatchamacallit, the lip syncing that you would get from quote-unquote proper VTuber models. So that's something that I wanted to experiment with to see if I like that, if I would prefer the better lip sync versus Kuneho's bobbing animations. But since I'm kind of lazy and don't feel like doing the thing for Kuneho, we're just gonna make a dummy character to see how it works. For what I want to do, at least. Because I've seen HONK in action, and it can do the lip changing, whatchamacallit, or mouth changing very easily. But, whatchamacallit? But it kind of has a stilted tendency to it that I don't really like. And that's the case with most of these free programs here, is that they're a little bit stilted unless you add that, unless you do add like the animated GIFs to add a little bit more life to the action that they're doing. Because otherwise it's just like open, close, open, close, open, close kind of thing. And my thing is, I think VHonk suffers a little bit from that too. It's just that they can change their mouth shapes as long as you build them for it. But it doesn't have that extra... I don't know how to explain it. I want to call it movement, because it does actually have a little bit of secondary movement, because there's a feature where you can get parts to follow the mouse. So, you know what? To test that, we're going to... So here's what we're gonna do, because I haven't explained myself too well. So the way VHonk works, for just the most basic of models, is you just need the base, a blink, and the mouth movements. And you don't even need a unique thing for every mouth. It's just that, whatchamacallit? You need it to fill the space, so you can use the same mouth for each sound, but it just needs to pull from something. So here are the things I want to test. I want to test, it's sort of like secondary animation thing, because there's a thing where you can add like little flourish things. I can't explain it well. We'll talk about it when we get in the program. So I'm going to separate each arm. It's just going to be a body. Instead of doing the mouths on their own, to see if I can get the extra animation, I'm going to do the mouths on, or rather, the entire head is going to be a mouth, to see if I can get that up and down motion. I have a theory that I want to test with it. So, that's what that's going to be about. So, we need an idle head, and I need one open head that's going to be slightly above it. So copy that, paste that there, and do that there. Thing is, though, that happens, well, that's what we're testing, because I haven't done anything in the program yet. I did get it, which was technically one of my only expenses for this project was that program, because you actually need to pay for HONK to use it, unlike VideoTube, which has a donation model where you can get it for free, but you can also pay for it if you want to support the developer, which I did do. Forgot how much I gave them though. It's not really important. I do remember I donated something to them, as, you know, if I'm going to use this program, I think you should support the developers, even if they're offering it for free. If you can afford to do it, no shame if you can't. And it's just my philosophy about it. So, okay. So now I've got the two heads. I should probably start naming these files so I can see what's happening, because I'm doing them all out of order. So, idle head, and then hawk head. What was this? This was open eyes. Because with the eyes, you could, I think technically you can put those on the same layer as what would normally be the head, and it'll just cycle through the blink, or I don't remember if you have to separate them anyways, but we'll find out when we go in there. I'm just trying to remember what I needed, and maybe it would have been easier if I just booted up the program. So, let's just do closed mouth smile, and then open for that. And eyes will just be separate, and we'll see if we can get them, unlike, to follow the cursor. Okay, so I think I got what we needed. We just need to color them in so it's not going to blend into the background. Let's do that. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, I lost the body. Oh, I turned off the folder. There he is. Don't mind me just being a moron as I usually am. Okay. Doesn't need to be anything fancy, we just need to get it done. Okay. Okay, so there's the body. So we'll put it into its home folder. Body. Do our arm. I should have waited till I made the folder. Oh well. Just so I can see what's going on, we're going to color each piece a little differently. Maybe not so intensely, I just need to be able to tell it differently. Let's see, sorry, also got a snack, just got back. Oh, welcome back. We're making a, just a dummy character to throw into, whatchamacallit, into HONK to see what we can do with the program. So I'm just cutting this guy up into the pieces I think we'll need, and we'll go from there. Let's see, because I can't really explain why I'm doing the things I'm doing without having the program these are going to go into up. And do yellow for the head, I guess, so I can see it. Okay. Because I think HONK is, would probably be a very, very powerful tool for VTubers that aren't interested in, who also aren't interested in Life 2D like me, but still want, like, the range, I guess. There's a lot of range that Via HONK supposedly has. I haven't super tested it out yet, but I know that it's better lip syncing, and the additions of it being, of certain pieces being able to follow the mouse cursor, and like secondary animation and all that would probably be very interesting to work with. I've actually seen at least one very, whatchamacallit, I guess high fidelity model made in HONK, where it's got a lot of good movement, like the kind of stuff you'd expect from a quote-unquote proper 2D VTuber. It had. So, okay, I think I've got all the pieces I need to do the tests I want to do, so let's turn you off, let's shrink the canvas, and save the pieces I need. think for that, I actually need to open up the HONK folder. So I can... Oh, wait. There you are. I was about to say, how long ago did I... Or if I reinstalled HONK since I... Whatchamacallit? Since I had to, whatchamacallit? I'm losing my train of thought. Since I, switched computers, that's what I'm trying to get at. But I found it, so I just need to save the, folders correctly. I guess it can be in any order. Okay, save duplicate. And downloads. Y'all can't see what I'm doing here, but I'll try to do it quickly so y'all can look at something more interesting. So we'll do this one. Images. So, our arm, yes. It's gonna be the body. Body. Title, save duplicate. L arm. Save duplicate. Closed mouth. Open mouth. Mouth. Open eyes. Because I don't know how this is gonna work if the mouths are moving like that, but that's what I want to experiment with. Closed eyes. Okay. So first, let me launch HONK so I can see if I can get that into a window y'all can see. I really should have tested this ahead of time, but such as it is. Nothing wrong with learning to do things on the fly, I suppose. Oh, it's so small. Can we open you up so I can see? It's a little too big. Come on, open up for me. Okay. That should be a good enough workspace. So now, let me go back in OBS and see if I can get y'all to actually see that window. So, menu HONK. Let's see. So this is what happened when I tried to capture Vroid earlier too. I'm not sure why it's not properly capturing this window. I don't have time to troubleshoot it, so I guess we're just gonna switch into display mode, which is a little scary for me. Not that I have anything personal up here, but it's just the idea that could be seen. So, go turn that on. Okie dokes. And I guess we'll turn off that window. So in theory now, y'all should just see everything that I see now. So, let's not look into the infinite corridors, and we'll have, I guess this is our backdrop. Or I guess I could just full screen it for the time being. Okay. So, change characters, launch, and character 6. Okay. So, let me see if I can figure out how to do this, because I don't remember what to do now. Is there not a thing to insert? Okay, create layer. There we go. Oh, whoa! Okay, there we go. So now we can see. So there's the body. Okay. So create layer. Let's go import his arms. I want you below that. So what am I doing wrong here? So maybe it's just on top because that's the one I'm moving. So like that. Okay, I see what's happening. Okay, left arm up. To here. No, not you. Okay, so I already see a problem. So I should not have, in this case, made these smaller elements the, whatchamacallit, the same size as the canvas. Because I wanted to do that for the head that we've got here, because that's kind of important for what I'm gonna be trying to do. But since these don't actually stack like that, let me see. So what if I do that? Okay, let's change all of these. So we can see what that's gonna do. He opens its mouth. So if this is the way this works, then that means I actually need to put the blink or the open eyes on the base. This is gonna be the eyes closed. So those are just gonna appear at random now. Or those stay. So that's good. Okay. Am I good? Okay, it says reconnection successful. That's a little scary. Am I still live? It says I'm still streaming, so I guess it fixed itself. Oh dear, thought we were gonna have another issue. But as long as I'm still up, we're good. Oh, Lord have mercy, select the head, please. Okay. Arms are just gonna have to be separate for a bit. That's not my primary concern. Okay, so that there. Thing is, how do I... Hello? Which mic is it using? Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Hello? Mic selection. Okay, it's using my mic. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, so yeah, it's doing what I thought it would do. Because since there's no break or pause, the mouth isn't gonna move back down unless it happens to be on a syllable where it's down. And that might look better if, whatchamacallit, if I actually had the other mouth shapes. But, I don't know. Okay. Go back into that. We're playing with it. We're learning how to get along with it. But first, we add eyes. Wait, that can be its own thing. So edit sprites, blink. But the thing is, since they're separate from the head, they're not going to move with it. Because there's no way for me to anchor that. As far as I can tell. Rotates on speech, look at cursor. I don't know, it looks circle. Oh, damn it. They're below the head, aren't they? Top, you. Go to layer 4 just so that you're behind the eyes. Okay. Now, it doesn't look like the eyes are moving the way they should. At all. Let's see. calibrate eyes. Put your cursor where your character will be on screen, then press the letter C. Put your cursor over the top right of your screen. Bottom left. Okay. Still nothing. It set that, right? Good cursor. Box. Testing, testing. Oh, he is blinking. Is that moving up too high? Is that how I had it in here? Yeah, I guess it is. Oops, wrong one. Ah, dang it. I'm looking at all the wrong stuff. Okay, here we go. I don't know. Take some speech, tiny bit. This is the thing I was talking about earlier that I wanted to test, was this little thing there. See how it handles this sort of motion. Oh, jeez. Why is it all the way back there now? Okay, go back in. Why'd you move? Stay there. Okay, are we good? Okay. Testing, testing. Okay, so he moves kinda... Yeah, that's very strange. I'm not sure what I could really use for that on a Kahon. Yeah, I'm gonna say this is probably a failed experiment. So I'm trying to think about how I can fix this to do what I want it to do. But problem one is that, whatchamacallit, if I put the eyes separately, but I have this upwards head movement, then it's not gonna move with the head. But since all the mouth movements are on the same layer, it's not like I can have several different heads that swap in and out, so I just don't think that's an option for us. So, that means I'm totally gonna lose any kind of balance. So, really, this is just the same problem as the regular 2D VTubers. It's just the animation not being great for the style. So, a failed experiment. We'll close that out now. I don't know what else we could possibly do with it. Go ahead and save it, though. Saved? Save. Okay, fine. Discard changes. Just do something. Ah, dear. Close, please. Okay, let's switch this back so that y'all only see Studio. Thing window again. Okay. Oh, darn it. Also save this as HONK base just so I can get back to it, but... no, I'm just not too happy with that, because... Whoops. Because it's just going against my sensibilities, I'll put it that way. Things that I want to do and how to make it look good in that program, I don't think it's gonna work quite as well. There's a way to make sure that the layers were able to be stacked right on top of each other to make sure all of this is even, but it's not really made for that. That kind of cartoony motion. Despite it being for a simpler style, it's just not made for it like that. Okay, well, that was over shorter than I thought, so I'm not sure what else to do now. Only plan to, whatchamacallit, work on the ref sheet, but to work on that area there, I gotta look at references, but I can't show you all those references on streams without risking getting in trouble. Huh? Maybe this is just where we call it. I'm not sure what else to do. No, yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and boot up Vroid, because that was the original plan B before we decided to switch to HONK. Man, the honk was over much quicker than I thought it'd be. So, yeah, let's do that. I think we're still in, I don't know what capture mode we're in anymore. But like I said, there's nothing personal y'all don't need to see, so I guess we'll work on this little mini project. I don't remember what I did with the files with it. Whoops. Because, really, what needs to be done with this model, besides fixing this little hair lump there, is the texturing. I don't remember where I left those textures. I'm gonna throw up the BRB real quick while I figure this out. I'll still be chatting here while I walk through this trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing, but... did I put it in the fan art file? Okay, there's the Aller files. Yep, I guess this is it. So I guess we're really just gonna be in Clip Studio anyway. We're just working on something a little different. Okay. Well, wait a minute. In my files, where's this shirt? Or did I add that here and I need to export that so I can see it? Oh boy, I don't remember a thing about how this works. Not a thing. Right-click that, save as a new item. Okay, there's an edit texture button. Is there a way for me to export this texture? Pretty sure there is. Okay. So I put it on another layer. Okay, so let's just export that. Put this over here.
Perfect.
Okay, and put it where it's supposed to be. So let's just say shirt. Open that back up here. Person. Okay. So let me go get y'all back so y'all can see what I'm doing again. We're gonna put that on and turn that off. Okay. So we're back. Hooray, welcome. So, we'll open this up. So what this is, to test out Vroid, because that's something I was thinking about doing, just another fun thing, was that I was making one of the OCs of one of my friends on Tumblr, was making their OC in here. So I could, whatchamacallit, so I could test it out, because Kuneho, the way her proportions are, just aren't well suited to the Vroid program. So, whatchamacallit. So, to get a better feel for it, I decided to borrow one of the OCs of my friends that would fit more into it, because they have a more just regular human proportions. I was taking them as a test. And I don't think I've said the name of this character yet, but this fella here is Alar. Is his name on this picture? Anyway, they belong to one of my buddies on Tumblr. Their username is Bunnies Over Cats. They go by Lex. And they're a good friend of mine. I've known them for a while, so I posed the proposition to him. If you could have any character that, whatchamacallit, if you could have a 3D model of any character of yours, which would it be? And they picked Alar, so that's the one I'm doing. I do want to turn on my, whatchamacallit, my ruler for this so I can see what I'm doing. Or rather, so that this can be symmetrical. Because unlike for my reference, whatchamacallit, symmetrical ruler, that's the one. Unlike for my references, which are just for me, and and working in 3D, things like the symmetry and stuff actually does, like, matter. So I need to make sure that I'm doing this in a way that makes sense. Here we go. What we're looking at now, since y'all didn't see me pull this up, is, whatchamacallit? This is the inner of their shirt. Let me see if I can throw up a picture of what they look like right now. Can I not do that? Oh, these are GIFs, aren't they? There we go. I just made it green so I could see what I was doing while I was putting down the test lines. But, yeah, this part here is just going to be the inside of their shirt here. Already kind of did the jacket, but as you can see from the guidelines here, they still need some work. I just kind of sketched it out, and that's where I kind of left it and forgot about it for until now. Let's see, you can always do some up dog. Up dog. It's up dog. I need to do a better job of planning these streams. I did technically plan this one, you know, wanted to do the ref sheet thing, but we stopped short there because I don't know how to draw asses. We did the HONK thing, but that was over quicker than I thought. And, streaming Vroid is weird. I don't know if there's just something wrong with the software, because both Vroid and HONK wouldn't, go in properly with the, window, with the stream from window thing, so I had to do display capture. Which I don't really like doing, because I don't like the idea of me opening up the desktop and kinda killing the illusion that I am an arcade game. Like, it doesn't matter for tonight, because we've already broke that a long while ago. And this has basically just been another out-of-character stream anyways. But for the future, you know, because I'm trying to future-proof this kind of stuff. That's why I don't have the chat on screen anymore, like I originally planned to, and why there's so much empty space above Kuneho's head. Is because... whatchamacallit? What's going on? It's hard to draw there. What was I saying? It's because, since I can't moderate myself, and if someone said something, you know, kinda nasty, and I couldn't get rid of it, then, whatchamacallit? What's going on here? Why won't you... oh, you're not closed all the way. Oh, you're also the wrong tool. Then that would be, bad for me, you know? Like, it probably wouldn't happen on a stream this small, though we did get kinda close to some rough territory earlier today. It is a little bit embarrassing that I didn't catch on to the, implications of that conversation, but such as it is. Things like that happening, and them appearing on the video stream, it would just be more trouble than it's worth to deal with, you know, and like post and having to moderate it and all that. So I didn't want to have something on stream that I might eventually have to take away if I didn't have an alternative to the problem, so to speak. But since I don't have mods right now, I didn't want to get to a point where I was, where I wouldn't be able to deal with it, you know? So instead of risking it, we just don't have a chat on screen. Let me see what I want to do for this. Isn't it selecting that? Why? Oh, because I'm not in that layer, fool. Okay. We'll do this. Do this. I lost where I was going with that. I had a point besides what I was saying, but oh well. I think I was talking about how I didn't like whatchamacallit, desktop showing up on stream. Said that, and I think that got into a conversation of, I guess, continuity. Well, it's not really so much continuity as, I guess, I don't know, quality control? I don't know what I'm trying to say. And I probably never will. I don't know what I'm trying to say half the time. Let's see. Should I still be I guess I could start reading off questions again, though since I'm not drawing Kuneho, it's not really relevant now. Well, it's always relevant. It's talking about the stream, so I'm gonna go pull up a question for us to answer. Let's see. How did they become a character? Well, I talked about that already. That's just VTubing. Or it's something I decided to do, and I already talked about that on stream. Let's see. What do they look like? We already know that. I'm not really sure what these questions are really tailored for. I just looked for 100 OC questions so we can get something to talk about in here. But some of these just do not apply to this specific situation. Let's see. Let me try to find a good one. Are they more book smart or street smart? Ah, damn it. Always doing that. I guess technically neither. Both for myself and for the Kahons. Is that, well, I guess it's a matter of either. Why aren't I drawing? What's going on? What's going on? Is that above this? Okay. Why can't I see what I'm doing? Why isn't that drawing? Oh, 'cause that's above that, you moron. There I go again. Just being silly. Okay. So I don't know what layers I put everything on. Check my reference again. Okay. Probably start adding, like, those details there. Let's zoom in, so you can color grab them, I guess. The outfit isn't super accurate to this particular reference that I have, it's just the inner shirt. The outfit's sort of a combination of design things. Like, whatchamacallit? Let me pull up the other thing I have, which is actually one of the drawings I've done of them. I don't think the shirt exists canonically in there, but I think the Letterman jacket they actually have. I don't think I have that picture saved though. Where is it? Yep, here it is. And the whatchamacallit? I don't remember what the heck I was saying. Guess it doesn't matter now. Whoops. Let's get out of the reference and back into here so you can see. Doubts. I don't remember if I asked earlier, but if you're out there listening, how do we feel about the new, whatchamacallit? I guess art music is what we're gonna call it. Because I had different music before, but I don't know if I liked it as much. It's, like I said, it's not my preference. It's not the kind of stuff I would listen to while I'm normally drawing. Not that I think that has that big an impact on my workflow, but I don't know. It's free music, that's all it really needs to be, I suppose. Okay, I can't be doing that anymore, so instead of that, let's do this. What I can do is go back up here to make sure I have the exact same color. Okay. Okay, I think I've got my keys done and what I'm trying to do. Damn it. What I'm trying to do here. Sorry, I got kind of lost in what I was doing again. I guess it feels kind of weird talking about Kuneho when I'm not focused on drawing her. So I guess I'll just say whatever's on my mind then. So earlier, I guess they're not in the chat right now. The person that had joined us. And was saying some kinda, I think, inappropriate things. I'm wondering how strict I should be with, like, banning people for stuff like that. Like, I don't know. That's skating a very close to the line, making, like, Nazism jokes, you know? Like, I don't even know what really prompted it, which is probably part of why I didn't catch on as quickly as I could have. And I am still very uncomfortable that they went ahead and did that. And to be honest, I probably should have expected that a little bit from someone who's, very into South Park, you know. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't judge people based on the kind of media they like, as long as they engage with it in a healthy way, you know. But, I don't know. Since I'm sure that kind of thing is probably just common in the sort of circles they're in, I'm not gonna hold it against them this time. I'm not gonna ban them or really do any harsh reprimanding of it. But I do hope in the future that they don't do that. Because I'd like to give people the benefit of the doubt, you know? Some people just don't see what's wrong with saying things like that. And it's not like they were out here saying, like, actually hateful things, just making references to some very not good things. We'll put it that way to make it a little light. If it happens again, there probably will be proper repercussions for it. I guess I'll do the outlines on these on different layers, so do it like this. But yeah, I need to think about things like that. Since, again, this is basically self-moderated, I'm gonna have to decide what sorts of things like that are okay or are bannable offenses, because not okay. We touched base with that. And again, hope it doesn't happen again. But I don't know. Because it's not like Twitch where I can just put, like, a rules page up somewhere. YouTube's just not kind of built that way. I could, in theory, I guess, either put it in the description or make, like, a command for it. Because that's also what the Stream Elements bot is supposed to do. It's supposed to have commands, but I don't think I've programmed any of them yet. But, you know, stuff like that, so we can get a feel of the kind of community we're trying to cultivate here. And I don't want to make people feel bad for things that they may just not be aware of, you know? Like, it just seemed like some kind of edgelordy kind of stuff, you know? And some people just haven't gotten out of that kind of phase, you know? Or just trying to test the waters, see what they can get away with. Maybe. I'm not certain. I'm not trying to accuse nobody of nothing. But I do think that's something I'm gonna have to think about. Let's see. Was there a bottom stripe on this? Not as far as this picture, but for sweatshirts, they usually have this kind of rib texture thing at the bottom, too. So I guess we'll add it. As I said, I was thinking maybe, yeah, they should have been banned outright for that, but since I didn't tell them while they were here, we're gonna let it slide this one time. But if it happens again, or if a different person does it, I think that kind of conversation is probably gonna be an automatic ban. Yeah, that's what I've decided. I don't want to be so harsh, but with things like that, I don't think there's really an excuse for it, you know? Not for things like that. I'm surprised that, well, I guess that can still technically be somebody's, name. So that hasn't been blocked out, but maybe I should add those. that guy's name to the block list, just to preemptively avoid stuff like that. But then again, the only time it was actually used is when Bruce told me about it to let me know that something was up, so I don't know. I'll figure it out. It's all a learning experience. Today was our first experience with, I guess, community discordance. It's not quite the word I'm looking for, but I guess it's what I'm going with. Well, let me see, where's the reference? So it stopped there, and on the shirt. So if I keep extending it... No, so I gotta bring it back up then. To make sure it doesn't go past that. Okay. Let's put all that into a folder, so I can move it all up at once since I foolishly decided to put this all on different layers. Need it at least there. Should I do it more flat? I guess we'll see when we reload it, when we import it into the thing. That works. Okay, I forgot. The eraser, for whatever reason, does not work with the symmetry line tool, and I don't understand why not. It's basically just a brush that erases. Okay. We're gonna save this and see what it looks like. Shirt PNG. And y'all can't see what I'm doing here, but I'll change the view in just a little bit when I see how it looks. Sorry. Oh, dang it, I gotta turn the background off. Can I save that? Okay, one more time. Shirt. Yes. Yes. Okay, now we can import you. Yeah, it's looking pretty cute. I'll show y'all what I've done. I think it looks nice. Let's see. Go back to display mode. There we go. Not that I think y'all got to see what I looked like with the test shirt, but that looks pretty cute. Yeah. Comes down nicely. Like, maybe a little bit of shading and some texture work would be nice on this, because I don't know if this will look good cell shaded, this model. That's why Kuneho's not the test subject for today. But otherwise, yeah, so I think we'll worry about fixing the jacket textures now. Yeah, let's clean those up. So let's make sure those are exported so I can see them. So, export. Jacket. Final, I guess. Okay. And maybe later we'll do some real exploration of the model, as I've made it so far, but right now, just what I'm doing today will probably be okay. Okay. Here's this. I guess the green was my guidelines for... Do I have this in a Psy file? Not a Psy, a Clip Studio file that I could edit? Or did I completely neglect to do that? It looks like I neglected to do that. This is all in one layer, but that's fine, because I'm gonna have to redraw most of it anyways. Okay. So, whoops, not you. Not you. Get my background back so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm gonna work on fixing up the jacket. I'm gonna go back into Vroid so I can see what it looks like. Yeah, I'll follow that guideline. It's fine. Okay. Back in here. Grab that color. I think that's the color. And start going over it again. Okay, so this is perfectly symmetrical, so I should be able to just do that. appears to be a... or I know there's a way to make sure this is perfectly in the middle, but I don't know how to do it anymore. Move the layer. So I wish there was a way just to turn on, like, just a symmetry ruler in the middle. Like, it seems like that should just be a function, but no, you have to put it there manually, so I'm gonna hope that's right. Guess we can test it just by drawing and seeing. Well, those are flipped, so that's not gonna be a good example. No, it's a little bit off. More to this side. A little bit more. We're almost there. Okay, too far. Just one more. Can I get a little closer? Do one more pixel. And that should be perfectly symmetrical now. Well, I think that's as close as it's gonna get. It's okay if it's one pixel off, as long as whatchamacallit, it's mostly symmetrical, it should be okay. Let's go trace back over this. So now, here's something. Guess they should in theory be even since I'm mirroring it. I'm a little worried that these lines aren't gonna be quite bright too. So I'm gonna follow the green guide as closely as possible. Maybe have a little bit of a natural wave in it, but not so sure. Now it's going lower than the original, but we'll see. Let's see how it looks. Okay, and I guess I just have to hope that those connect properly. Okay. So now let's get little pockets. Let's see. I guess while I'm focusing on drawing this character, I could talk a little bit what I sorta know about him. But it's not my character, so take all that I say with a grain of salt. But as far as I know, or can recall, Alar's a cute little guy. He's really into, I'm not quite exactly sure what this fashion is. The face stickers and things make me want to say Decora, but I don't know if that's technically right. Like, it's a mix of Decora and I guess Fairy K and stuff. Or, you know, just very cute. Just very kawaii fashion. I know he's friends with another character Lex's named Louie. And I think they go to the same school and are best friends or whatever. I think I just said that. I know that putting it lightly, he's had kind of a rough childhood, it seems. I'm not sure if it's quite bullying, but it seems to do with, whatchamacallit, with his appearance. Apparently, his quote-unquote freckles are like pin marks, I think they are. Pretty sure that's right. And that's mostly why he covers them up with stickers and things. I don't know exactly who or if he has a proper love interest, or if it's a character that loves you. Because in the dating sim that I played with both of them, I think that one was called Eat Your Heart Out Valentine. I don't remember if that was the name of the of that game though. But you play as a character that dates both Louis and Aller here, so I'm not sure, or I don't remember which one's the canonical ship or whatnot. It was so long ago that I played that. I forgot. I'm sorry. I feel so bad. I always feel bad when I can't recall things about my friends' OCs, because I do love them, I really do. But I just have such a hard time recalling information like that. I hardly remember information about my own characters, let alone ones that aren't mine. But I always feel a little bit bad about it. Because I work so hard and put in all that effort just for me to frickin' forget the details, I mean. I guess this one of the most important things about this character that I've neglected to mention, totally, is that they are a yandere, I think. And that's a whole, subculture's not the right word. Like, archetype, I guess. That, I don't know. My feelings about it aren't that strong, honestly. Like, I've seen people post about how if you're in yanderes, then you're bad, or whatever, stuff like that, you know? But, my thing is that in this specific case, and I don't think this applies to everything, I don't think that just because you do something in fiction that automatically absolves it of any responsibility of being, you know, of conforming to human decency and whatnot. But I think in the case of, at least this case of the yandere archetype, that it's harmless enough, you know. As again, it's just fictional characters. I don't think most people that are into yanderes actually, you know, approve of murderous people, you know? Like, some people are, you know, able to separate that, you know? And it's weird living in a world where people don't seem to understand that the things you can like in fiction aren't the same as things you condone in real life, you know? Like, yanderes are an extreme example, because, again, they're basically murderers for the sake of love, you know? It's an obsession kind of thing. As far as I recall, I may be misrepresenting the tropes, but that's basically what it is. And I can understand the appeal of it, you know? Someone that loves you so much that they're willing to kill for it, or they show their affection in violent, dangerous ways, I guess. I can see the appeal of fantasizing that, but I don't think that necessarily means that it's condoning it in real life. Of course not. Someone like that in real life would be just a terrible partner to have, you know? Just for your own sanity. But exploring it in fiction, just having fun and engaging with such a scary but, I don't know, heart-throbbing idea in a vacuum? Well, not vacuum, like in a simulated space like fiction, it's totally fine. You know? That said, my personal taste, I'm not too into it. Just like, personally. One, because I don't fantasize about romantic concepts that much, so the idea of a violent partner is especially not, whatchamacallit, appealing to me. But you know, people just have different biases and things, you know? Some people like yanderes. Some people like old men. Some people being me, for that last one. And even in that case, where it's a more realistic kind of bias, old men aren't things that I really like in real life, because most old men just don't jive with my sensibilities because they're old. And what I mean by that is, don't always have the most progressive of thoughts and ideas, you know? And again, or sort of a continuation of the last time I brought up this topic, in real life I am a very, very young face, you know? So, old men taking interest in me rubs me the wrong way when I consistently get ID'd as being like, less than 18, you know? It just rubs me the wrong way. Which is why it's fun for me to fantasize about, old men in, like, fiction and things, but doesn't really make me happy in real life if an old dude were to make a pass at me or something to that effect, you know? And I think that applies to most things, not even just, whatchamacallit, things that are quote-unquote controversial, like the idea of the yandere. Which I don't see, which again, I don't even see why that's a thing people have a problem with. Besides just not being able to separate the idea that someone can like, whatchamacallit, a thing in fiction, but not in real life. No, it's just such a simple thing to, whatchamacallit, to make peace with, I guess. Oh, this doesn't have the, whatchamacallit, the, symmetry ruler on it, so I'm gonna have to do that to make sure it, flips. Why wouldn't you flip? Where's my... Where's my transformation tools? Why can't I see those? Oh, it's over here. There we go. Now you're transformed. Whoops. There. And let's turn on that ruler for everything so we're symmetrical and everything. Just so I can lay down this base color. Okay, so there's my sketch. Those are the new colors. Okay, let's get you all in there. I'm trying to remember where I was going with any of that. Why I even went on this tangent. Talking about how, this character's yandere. And I think he's adorable. And also hilarious that he's actually secretly ripped. Oh no, I saw that for Valentine's Day, and I just thought that was the best thing ever to see. That this guy is actually just the buffest. We love us some buff stuff here. That's mostly a joke. I will freely admit to my old man bias, but I joke a lot about being into like really muscly things, but that's mostly like a, it's actually a fear response more than anything, I guess is what you'd call it. Because big muscly bodies actually disturb me greatly. I'm not sure where that comes from, but the way I cope with, whatchamacallit, the way I cope with things that I don't like is usually by making fun of them. So it turns in sort of an ironic affection, I suppose you'd call it. But I'm not really into muscles. There are some buff characters that I can be kinda into, but you gotta be just right. Like, my favorite... No, not Buff Mizu! Mizo! Do not bring that up. Not at all. Why'd you have to make me remember that? Oh, are you saying why I'm scared of muscles? No, that's not why I'm scared of muscles. Part of why I joke about that so much is because of my whole muscle thing to begin with. I just think it's funny. But, I lost my train of thought now. So I was gonna give an example of a muscly character that I actually like, but I don't remember it now. Oh, yes. What's the rest of his name? I know his first name is Klaus, but, Klaus from, Blood Blockade Battlefront. That was an anime I watched a while ago. I really liked. And Klaus is just a darling. Like, part of it is his personality, which makes me, forgive that he's so big and buff. But it's a pretty attractive character design. What is his last name? Because I don't want to say it wrong. It's Klaus von something. It's a German name. He's cool. He's got a, it's almost like a monster boy kind of thing he's got going on. He's a little bit beastly, which helps, you know, anthropomorphize, I guess? But that's not quite right, because he's not a furry if you decide to look him up. That's not what he is, but he's got, like, traits that, like, I don't know, basically a cat boy, but not quite. Like, he's got fangs, and his hair's kinda shaped animalishly, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. Totally lost all, sense of direction with where this conversation was going. Let's see. It's gonna be too far over if I make the bow that big, but I can move it up a little bit. So, I don't think I've ever seen a back view of these characters, but I thought it would be very cute to put, Lex's logo on the back. So that's something she adds to her art sometimes, is both, like, a logo in-universe and just as to watermark the art. Is, a little bunny with a bow with the X face. I think it's very cute, and I thought it'd be nice to work it into the character design here onto his jacket on the back. Just a cute little back detail. What's the anime name? Blood Blockade Battlefront. I think that's the order it's in. I'm very bad at giving, like, plot synopsises, but, it takes place in, New York, and it's about this, organization that kinda... they're vampire hunters. They try to keep the peace between humans and non-humans, but mostly, or one of their big things is that they hunt vampires. But it's a lot more, wholesome isn't the right word. It's a lot cozier than that, premise implies. It's very down to earth. The characters in it are very wonderful. I like them a lot. I'm trying to think of things to say about it to sell it to you more, but it's just a good anime. It doesn't have a lot of the usual anime BS, if you know what I'm talking about when I say that as a general term. I don't know, it's just very endearing. I thought I wasn't gonna like it because when the anime first came out and it was sort of making some rounds on Tumblr, it didn't get as far as I thought it would, or as good as it turned out to be, but I thought I wouldn't like it because the main character, Leo, I thought he was just gonna be the kind of just sniveling anime boy protagonist that I cannot stand, you know, the kind that you often find in, like, harem animes and things like that. Because, I don't know, because I thought he was gonna be a sort of wish fulfillment type character, you know, that type. But no, he's a sweet boy. I would die for Leo. He is such a good boy. Such a good boy. Let's see, just Google Klaus, and I know that design. Very nice. Yeah, and you should see him in action. He is the best. He is probably my favorite character in that show. He's just so nice. He's very dad-like. That is definition of dad material right there. So, very popular in Bara circles, I'm certain. But that aside, yes, I just like him. I love all the characters in that show. So if you get a chance, if you're into anime and you want something fun to sit down with, like, it's not gonna challenge your brain too much, but if you just want a good time, I think Blood Blockade Battlefront. You can do a lot worse than it. And it's pretty good. It's not like middling like a lot of my other quote-unquote favorite animes are. I like a lot of, whatchamacallit, honestly B-tier anime. Because that's just what I'm into. I can't bring myself to get into these just long as heck shonen shows. Because I just don't want the time sink, and usually, even when I watch them, they just don't have what I'm looking for. Like, what did I even watch this season for anime? To be honest, I think the only thing I watched was, what's the name of it? Life as an ordinary guy that got reincarnated as a total knockout. And I don't know why I watched that one for so long. I thought it was cute, but it's definitely a little, I don't know. I don't know if pandering's quite the right word. It knows what it is, and it doesn't try to hide that. But I do think it does its premise a little bit more or less tasteful than most. You can look up the synopsis by yourself and incriminate me as a weirdo if you want. But I don't know. I thought it was cute. But it got totally ruined for me when I found out that the artists that worked on the original manga draw some not so great things. So that soured me a little bit on it. A lot, to be honest. So I don't know if I'm gonna pursue it now that the anime has ended. It was a nice romp while it lasted, but knowing that, or knowing what I know about the creators, that does affect my enjoyment of certain media. Like, I am in that camp, sorta, where I think you should limit your consumption of media, where the person who made it may not have such, great ideals, we'll put it that way. If it's going to, if it's going to benefit them, and me buying into the show, maybe even talking about it right now and promoting it even a little bit, is a little morally gray, I guess. But I don't know. Or I do know, I'm just not able to put it into more articulate words while I'm focusing on drawing a zipper. Which is probably just not gonna look good because it's so uneven. But it is what it is. I don't know if this model's even gonna be viable for them to use. It's just something for fun I wanted to work on. Just because I thought it'd be fun, and, get used to the program. Okay. I guess we'll put zipper here. The zipper should be on the outside, though, right? So it needs that little thingamajig. Looks like that, right? I should probably just go grab a coat from off the floor and go reference it, but I'm just too lazy to do even that. At least right now. I don't know if I'm gonna actually finish this model. It's just something I thought we'd work on since this is just gonna be an art stream. Because I completely forgot which game I said I was going to be playing next time. Because I did say the name of the game, but I don't remember what I said. I guess I could look back at the VODs and find out, but I don't know if it really matters. Was it Spore? Did I say we were going to do Spore next time? Okay, let me turn this off. Okay. Alrighty, let's just put some color on it, import it, and see how it's looking. It's a little cleaner. I mean, it should be cleaner, but is it actually going to work with the model? I'm especially worried about how these parts are going to join up, but I guess we'll see. I guess in this case, I can actually just Use the reference fill and make this my reference for now, so I can get through this a little faster. Oh, I guess I could turn that on too. Because unlike the eraser, the fill bucket tool actually does work with the symmetry filler. Okay, let's grab you. Off. Do that and fill her up. Okay. Fortunately, I didn't put the zipper pull and things onto the symmetry layer, so I'm actually gonna have to turn that off. Ugh. My lower back hurts a little bit. Should probably take more time to stretch while I'm doing these long sessions like this, but like I said earlier, I just don't like interrupting my work for anything. It just disrupts my flow when I do that. Okay. Oh, using that tool, so why does it seem like it's layering in a way I don't want it to? Maybe it's just my imagination. I mean, I guess I could have just turned this into a reference layer and do what I was doing earlier. Yep. Work smarter, not harder, Sammy. Think about what you're doing and the medium and tools you have available to you. Really, there's no reason for these to be not combined anymore, so I could just put them together and set that as my reference now. Okay. Just use put a little more pink, that way it goes more with the colors I've already got here. Oops. Up here. Okay. I think that'll do it for reworking the jacket. Let's turn that off and save you. And I'll switch the view this time so y'all can actually see me load this in this time. The display. Okay. Back in here. Let's import the new jacket. See how that looks. It's looking very Toon-like. Not sure if I like it that much. It joined up okay. I think if I added some more shading, I could give more of the illusion of depth into some of these areas here, like here. Add a little bit of shading to imply some more roundness to this shape, since it's sort of supposed to puff out. And the same thing here. Oh, it looks like that's not actually connecting to the neck here. Okay, so why isn't it? Oh, because it's literally not connected to it. I actually need it to follow this line then, I think is what's going on. Or it's that it's not following this. I'm not really sure what that area is. Whoops, wrong thing. Let me see. So where's that seam line coming from? Oh, I guess I do have it up here, right here, so I can test it out here. So, okay. Dang it, how do I move around in this canvas? There's no, like, hand tool for me to move around in it. It's a little uncomfortable. Let me see if my theory's right. Okay, turn on the symmetry tool so I can see what's going on. Okay, so there's a seam there, so I probably should have actually gotten the guide out so I can make sure that all of this was matching up. since I'm here, let me test if that's what's going on. So that's for that. Yeah, so this, I need to extend out more so that that's touching. Okay. Okie dokes, I think I get it. So, let's fix that up. So I already have guide exported here. Yeah, I do have the jacket guide, so let me get that back here. Let's switch the view. Turn off the display. Okay. So, let's import that then. Let's see what we're doing. Copy. Okay. Okie dokes. Let's make sure that he's getting color in all of these areas. Then I can go back over it with an outline. Or, you look back here. Should I keep that seam line? I guess that's how a jacket like that would be constructed anyways, so... I guess I could. Anyways, back here. Okay. Maybe those areas just don't need the lines. I should probably turn that back on. Yeah. Okay. Back in business now. Okay. Well, it says that that part doesn't really matter. Let me look back here. Yeah, so it is getting cut off there. Okay. Okay, let's see what's going on. So, we're going to erase that. So we can have a proper outline on these. Okay. Look back here. Let's also erase this. Whoops. Also erase this line so we can bring it back out here. So that should, in theory, be a little more connected now. Yeah, it's gonna bug the heck out of me. Fix it. Fix this one too. Honestly, you've been having a rough time, and the stream has been super helpful. Thank you, friend. Love ya. Oh, I'm glad I could be that for you, man. Like, it makes me happy knowing that something good is coming out of these streams, despite the difficulties with it, so I'm glad. Thanks for hanging out here, man. Like, having somebody to talk to during these streams certainly helps out. And with the kind of low numbers I'm kind of pulling in, it's very often that I don't have anyone to actually talk to. So, I'm super glad that you get to stick around. But again, never feel bad if you can't catch these streams, man. If you're able to make it, then I'm elated. But if you can't, well, it's always next time, man. I ain't too roughed up about it. But I'm glad that I can be a comforting place. And I hope I can continue to be that for many more streams to come, and for however long I'm able to do this. I wonder. Because I'm always full of doubts and things about how things will turn out, because I'm just a naturally pessimistic person. Well, naturally is kind of a strong word. I was raised pessimistically, I guess you'd put it. But I'd like for this to work out. I really would. Let's see. Just get some of that. I guess I could have just done this. Yeah, that works. Spend that. Nah, that should be fine. So now the thing I wanted to do, which was to see if adding a little bit of shading here would help. So I guess I should say I'm a little bit sorry that conversation for me has kind of dropped off now that I don't really have a clear focus besides this. And it's a character that's not really mine, so there's not much I can say about it. I'm kind of one-tracked in that way. I can only really focus or think about the things that I'm looking at, or things that have been bothering me for a little bit. But I already talked about what happened earlier on stream, so there's not much else on my mind besides that. I'm just a very boring person. Which is part of why I'm so ignorant and unread about a lot of things. But such as it is. If you got too much time on your hands, then it's just the kind of thing that happens, I guess. Okay. Hopefully it's back. OBS said it connected again. Well, I'm gonna say that despite me kind of disconnecting every so often, at least it's not totally crashing like it did the first start stream. I've noticed that, whatchamacallit, these crashes have only happened, as far as I've noticed, during these art streams. I don't know if it's because I'm just running too much stuff or what, though. Let me make sure I have a clip studio file of this in case I need to edit it more. Okay, it's a little messy around the edges, but if it's not on the guide, then it's not going to show up, so see how that's importing now. Make sure y'all can see it this time. Open that back up. Re-import that. To see if we fixed it. There we go. That's looking a little cleaner. A little bit. Still got some bad seam lines there. And I think I know what those are from. But I'll deal with them later. So I might just have to delete the outlines that are in those kinds of areas so that stuff like that doesn't show up. But otherwise, it's looking alright. There's certainly better looking models out there. But for what we've done so far, not bad. The zipper's a little comically large though. I might want to make that smaller, because Alex's style isn't as cartoony as mine, so those big, kinda exaggerated details might not suit him that well. Let me see how long I've been going. It's almost 10 o'clock now for me. I don't know how much longer I want to go. It's almost been 4 hours. Let me see. Well, we made progress on Kuneho's reference. We did a little bit of cleanup here for this project that I really didn't describe that well. But, whatchamacallit? But you know, I'm gonna call that progress for the night. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. So, I thank you all for, let me switch screens over here. I thank you all for joining me tonight. We have been trying to stay a little bit in character. Completely failed when I decided to, answer OC questions, out of character, so... You know, maybe we'll try that again next time, and I'm gonna force myself, but it wasn't a terrible stream today. Hopefully y'all had fun. Definitely talked about some interesting things. And yeah, I certainly need to get better at ending these streams. I thought the opening was a little better than the usual ones, but ending is always a bit of trouble. Well, since we're here, let me test something. Hey, it works. Yeah, thank you. Maybe we'll start using this emote to end the streams, because it's very happy. And peace. Peace can mean goodbye sometimes, too. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Hope y'all have a good rest of the night, day, evening, wherever you may be on this glorious earth. And bet you'll catch us next time. I'll see ya. Oh, also, I'm not sure what's gonna happen next time. I'm not sure if we're gonna do more art or if it's gonna be a game. I'll need to plan that in the future. Because I don't remember the game that was supposed to be for today that got replaced with art, but yeah, we'll think about that. Alrighty, so for real now. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.